Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And coming up on today's show, Overreaction Friday after the Raiders' 27-14 loss to the Arizona Cardinals. If you don't know, today's show is presented by PrizePicks, and every single time the Raiders play a game, you bet your bottom dollar I'm going to be here today with my team, and we're going to be talking about the top trending stories that are coming out of this game. And I get it. It's a preseason, but you know what? I want the Raiders to practice how they play, and I'm going to do the exact same darn thing. And you know why? Because I know you guys are going to do the exact same darn thing as well. So coming up here on today's live show, presented by PrizePicks, we're going to get into, I would call it the Week 1 recap. I want you to ask me questions. I'm going to give you guys a bunch of takes from the game yesterday, but overall, I was impressed by the Klint Kubiak offense. I was impressed with Kirk Cousins, Fernando Mendoza, and this first team. The first team I thought was good. Special teams, defense, obviously, that's a whole nother conversation, and we will get into that during the biggest winners and losers, and we will talk about the biggest winners and losers. Also, I just want all of y'all to know Klint Kubiak is now live on the Raiders YouTube channel. He is doing a presser right now. I saw some people asking me, am I going to show the presser? I am not allowed to show the presser / I don't. We're not going to show it right now. But if you guys want to go watch and listen to it, I just want you to know that Klint Kubiak did just go live. I'm also going to be breaking down a Raiders 53-man roster projection. Okay, so this is interesting. DeCamerion Richardson was excused from last night's game for the birth of his child. So again, Klint Kubiak's live. I'll probably be giving you guys some updates here overall. But how about this? How would you guys grade Klint Kubiak's performance overall? How would you grade the Raiders' performance overall against the Arizona Cardinals? Give me an A, B, C, D, or F. And since Kubiak is live right now, I am going to give you guys some updates of just some of the things that the head coach is saying. I will get also into some of the top other shows that I got. 53-man mailbag. If I sound hungover, it's because I am a little bit hungover. We got home late last night, but as always, we're always going to show you guys commitment to excellence. I see Bo Mackey's going to go with a B. Venom Sosa says B. Sherlock's going to go B-. Jason Has says D overall performance. Like, I said it yesterday that I personally gave them a C grade, and that's because I do really think the first team offense and really the first team defense, don't get me wrong, did not play well, but you could definitely tell that the offense was clicking a little bit more than the defense was, but the defense also, I thought, was very, very vanilla overall. Venom, early morning mimosas. We might have some mimosas here on today's show. We will see. Also, Klint Kubiak said that he expects wide receiver Dante Thornton Jr. to return to the field of play at some point in the preseason. Kubiak says that he's been banged up a little bit. So that's kind of interesting. He's been banged up a little bit, and he expects him to play getting into the preseason. That's a good thing. I mean, Dante needs to get out there on the field. Like, again, I want to see Dante Thornton Jr. excel. I want to see our young players be the best versions that they could possibly be. But if he's not out there on the field, I don't know how he's going to get that opportunity. So again, y'all, we got a bunch of shows coming up for you. We got winners and losers. I want y'all to ask me some questions. Hashtag Raiders Super Chat. We will do a mailbag on today's show. We're going to go through the top news, top rumors, the top talking points that Klint Kubiak is also discussing right now. I want to do a 53-man roster projection, and all of that is going to be happening here on the Raiders Report today. So shout out to all of y'all. If you guys want to do a duck race, obviously we can always do a duck race on the show, but I'll say it like this. The more people that get in, yesterday we gave away, we gave away over $2,000 yesterday on the Raiders Report. So we're going to tell you all the deals that we got on the program today. We got everything else coming up on the show, but before I go any further, I got to tell you about our sponsor here, PrizePicks, America's #1 sports pick app out there. And if you rocked with me yesterday, you put some money in your pocket. And I hope that you did put some money in your pocket, because I didn't win just one lineup. I won 2 lineups. And you probably know that if you follow me on PrizePicks at Mitchell Renz 365. And you know what? I'm probably going to put a Prize Picks lineup in a little bit. In fact, I want y'all to help me build a Geno Smith Prize Picks lineup on today's live show. We'll do it a little bit later on. Hell, maybe we'll do it during happy hour on the show. You guys are going to help me because you know what I'm doing today? You're darn right I'm going to watch the New York Jets. You're darn right I'm going to watch Geno Smith, and I hope he throws an interception. If they give me a demon pick for a Geno Smith interception, you're darn right that I'm taking it. The real E43 is laughing at me, but to the real E43, Sherlock, I mean, come on, man. Look at me right now. You're telling me you're not going to watch that Jets game in Geno? If there's an interception, I'm taking the more. But yesterday, $5 to win, $25 lineup. If this was the first lineup that you ever put in on Prize Picks, you would have got $150 extra in lineups to play with. You got to use code HMA. That link's going to be available to all y'all down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. And I also found a brand new feature on Prize Picks. And this is going to be a feature that I use very, very often moving forward. People that copy my lineups, people that I think trust me, that believe in me, and also I think just want to sweat games out with me. This to me is the new Noti gang. If I see people are copying my lineup at Mitchell Renz 365, of course, these are going to be names that I'm going to know because I'm also excited that you guys put some money in your pocket. So if you want to get a shout out on Prize Picks moving forward, copy some lineups, sweat it out with me, give me a follow at Mitchell Renz 365, but most importantly, use code HMA, and if you win that first $5 lineup, you're going to get $150 and lineups to play with over with our sponsor, Prize Picks. Let's go through some super chats here, and then I'm going to get into the deals on the program today. What up, Britain? The corners can't get burned, man. Just want a decent season. Let's go, Raiders. Our corners had a rough outing. I expected more out of really everyone, right? And when you give up 15 to 15, do you have that list 6 or list 5 logo of that one graphic? I mean, they got shredded by Gardner Minshew. They got shredded by Jacoby Brissett. I mean, when you allow 15 to 15, 0 incompletions, 0 sacks on that team. I mean, and it was. Hezekiah Massis struggled. Jermod McCoy gave up 2 touchdowns. Darian Porter, Isaiah Paul, I didn't love what I saw in the secondary. Taron Johnson got called for a hold. Now, if I want to look at it glass half full, I'm going to go, well, Max Crosby's not out there on the field, and I do think with the defense that the Raiders were running, and predominantly they were doing 3 defensive linemen with an outside linebacker, edge Sam, and they weren't really able to generate a lot of pressure. But I do think with a young team that they're going to be able to generate a little bit more pressure if Max Crosby, is out there on the field. At least that's my hope overall. And the secondary played bad. It did. One of the plays that kind of got swept under the rug that I wanted more at it was Eric Stokes. There was one play, it was like 3rd down and 11, and Stokes is on Marvin Wilson, and Wilson kind of fakes like he's going to go inside, and he comes back around for a gain of about 12, and it was a big first down. Like, to me, that's why we paid Eric Stokes the amount of money. And I get it. It's preseason. It's early on. But, that was a really, really, if it wasn't a preseason game, right? Like, let's be real. If that was a week 1 game, we're sitting here going, that was a horrific defensive performance from this team. And that's just an honest statement. I mean, it was. Does anybody think here the Arizona Cardinals are going to be good? I personally do not. What up, Bo? No matter the score, always Raiders. I wish I could yell, man. I really, really do. And I hear you, I've really, really been telling myself this entire offseason, this entire year, that I want to be positive. I want to be positive, and I'm going to find ways, to be positive. And, already today, I've had, a few Raiders guys hit me up, and they were just kind of, I think, appreciative of the fact of that we are such a happy fan base right now. And I get it. I think it's a balance of, well, football's back. Raiders football's back. And the fact that no injuries happened for the silver and black, that was probably the number one thing that I was the most concerned about. So, yeah, we lost the game, but Kirk Cousins looked good. Fernando Mendoza looked good. The Klint Kubiak offense looked good. And I'm hoping that we continue to look good moving forward. So today's deals, just so all of y'all know, are as follows. Every time we hit 100 likes on today's show, I'm going to give away some raffle tickets today. If you don't know what the raffle is for, I think if you're watching a Friday show here on the Raiders Report, you're the definition of what a real one is. I know a lot of y'all were rocking with me and my team last night. We were live for 7+ hours. It was a long, long night. It was a long afternoon, and I appreciate that. So I want some of y'all to be able to get into my fantasy football league. We are doing a August fantasy raffle, and I don't know, this might be actually the final spot that I'm going to be able to give away. But if anybody out there wants a shot to get in my fantasy football league, if you send in a $5 super chat, I'm going to give you I'm going to give you a raffle ticket. That's you telling me that you want a shot to be able to get in. And every time we get 100 likes, I know that not everybody can send in a super chat. So we will be giving away some entries. If you want to get in my duck race, it's a $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. Yesterday, we gave away $1,000 to first place. Second place got $800. Third place ended up going home with $330. On top of that, we also gave away 2 Fernando Mendoza jerseys. I know that not everybody knows what a duck rate is. I know that not everybody knows what a 50-50 raffle is. But if you want to try to win some money today, $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365 if you are trying to get in. Scan that QR code. The more people get in, we will do it at the very, very, very end of today's program. Obviously, if you want to bang, August bang race, whoever bangs the most in the month of August, you also get in my fantasy football league, which, speaking of which, our August bang MVP race, as it stands right now, it belongs to Jerry Danley. He was the MVP of our Raiders-Cardinals game yesterday. Shout out to you, Jerry. On my walk to work today, my dad was like, who the heck was that Jerry Danley guy? And I was like, Dad, well, my dad goes to bed early, especially typically on the East Coast. That's where he's at. And usually, Jerry always, for Thursday Night Football streams last year, he was our #1 MVP for Thursday Night Football, him and Bayou. And so the fact that he showed up last night, Jerry, it was good to see you. But shout out to Steven Hansen. Shout out to Lord Cameron Abbott. Shout out to everybody that pulled up, showed out yesterday. What up, Jason Haas? Mendoza and Bech looked good. They did look good. Like, Mendoza, 10 of 16, 97 yards. That first drive wasn't great. And there was one point where he had happy feet. It was one throw. He got pressured, and you saw the pitter patter, and he had to throw it out of bounds. It's the ball he threw out probably like 12 yards outside of the box, right? Excuse me. It's probably going to happen multiple times tonight. But, like, the ability then the next drive to be able to bounce back, 9 plays, 79 yards, touchdown Raiders. But Jack Bech as well. Like, Bech, to me, that one unbelievable third down catch where he had to go up wasn't really that great of a throw by, I believe it was by Cousins at that time. Goes up, snags it, brings it in, first down Raiders. And then you saw another one where, another time, Jack Bech brings in a big-time first down. But, like, to me, the 2 biggest plays that he made in that game were obviously the touchdown catch for Mendoza to be able to throw it low, for Bech to be able to slide down. That's what you're looking for. But watch the Mike Washington Jr. run. Like, that's the I'm not saying, like, I want Jack Bech to materialize, but the reason why I want people to buy into what Bech does is, like, that block now. And again, Charles Grant, Antonio Mafi, Jordan Meredith, they absolutely just set it up. Connor Hayward goes out there, lays a hell of a block. Shout out to Connor Hayward for giving me a follow today on Instagram. Shout out to you, bro. But, like, Connor Hayward lays that block, but then you see Jack Bech just come in, and it's like the cherry on top of just, it's a pop. And when you got to deal with that type of physicality on a week-to-week basis, teams don't want to have to deal with that shit. Mike Washington Jr. breaks a 56-yard run. Like, there's so many little things that get that set up, but the way that Bech played yesterday, hell of a football game, man. He's going to be one of the biggest winners today when we talk about winners and losers coming up here on the Raiders Report. Let's go to my guy, Can't Walk. What up, Can't Walk? Raider football is back off. When offense was okay, defense was bad. By the way, Dubai chocolate, light and delicious. Okay, so he said he got some Dubai chocolate from Panda Sups. And if you guys don't know, Panda Sups owned and operated by a diehard Raiders fan. And I will always, always, always appreciate Panda Sups. But the offense was okay. I mean, the video that I did this morning for, my Overreaction Friday was the good, the Raiders offense. The bad, the Raiders secondary. The ugly, I think our special team situation is an ugly situation right now. And again, man, if you told me I could close my eyes and wish that Special K was the kicker, I would do it. I would. I wish that he was the kicker. but all offseason long, we've been sold on competition in that kicking room, and I'm sorry, it's not a competition right now. It's Matt Gay's job, and it is by far his job, and I don't think it's a job that he's actually won. It's a job that we kind of have to give him because you just got to get Special K's confidence up. He just doesn't have confidence right now, and I don't want to give up on him. I don't think you need to give up on him. He can be the International Pathway Program player, but to me, special teams, I think that Daniel Carlson has to be at least a part of the conversation. And when I say at least a part of the conversation, I would want John Spytek to pick up the phone, give Daniel a call, and just say, hey, what are you doing this week? Join us in Houston for practice because we got joint practice against the Texans starting on Tuesday. What up, Cast Joey? Not terribly mad about the D. Vanilla. Not a lot of blitz packages, etc., but my concern is the DBs getting beat as bad as they did. None of them look good. After seeing Washington, I affirm my stance. The running back room is our best position. Oh, man. I mean, when I went back and I watched Mike Washington, I didn't realize how good he was. And what I didn't realize how good he was about was the blocking. Shout out to Baldy. Baldy's putting out all these clips, and he's picking up blitz packages. But probably one of my favorite ones that he did, he's on the left hip of Mendoza, and I think it was Grant was laying the block. And Washington, what he does is he just lays his shoulder, and it's a great chop block type of thing. It slows down the rush. He gets out onto the flat. You can tell that he prides himself on physicality. And I love that type of shit. Plus, on top of that, he runs a 4.3, 40-yard dash. I agree with you. I'll say this. I didn't think that Mike Washington Jr. would get as much work as what I now think he's going to get. And it's not because anything that Genty did or did not do. This is going to be a ground and pound football team. We are going to run the football. And we are going to run the football, I think, a lot more than I anticipated. But I agree with you. The defense was extremely vanilla. My biggest concern was I thought our corners played too soft, and we still played soft, and we got beat way too often. And again, maybe that was hey, we just want to play vanilla, go out there and do your thing. But soft defense, it was not inspiring. Again, anybody watch the game? I'm not trying to be too nitpicky. It's a preseason game, but there's no way you watch that defense, and we're excited about what you saw from our young corners. Sherlock, what's going on, man? Morning Nation, can I get a raffle ticket for the Fantasy Football League? Only if you do this right now in your living room, Sherlock. I need one of these on a Friday morning. I need Sherlock energy on a Friday morning, man.
If you think he's not hitting that in his living room right now, you're sadly mistaken.
He didn't
even need the raffle ticket for it. He's just hitting it.
I just picture Sherlock just walking down the street, and people are like, what is that guy doing? The Sherlock, man. Shout out to Sherlock for being a real one. Shout out to all y'all. And again, if you do not know, if you're watching the show on a Friday, I am doing a fantasy football league. And if you want a chance to get in, $5 super chat, ask me a question, and I'll give you a raffle ticket for your shot to get in. We will do that raffle at the very, very end of the month of August. We got almost 400 people here in the building right now. What's your one word to describe how Fernando Mendoza played? And Nick, I want you to pick somebody because we're going to give away a raffle ticket for a shot to get in my fantasy football league.
Ooh.
Okay?
Okay.
Whatever word you feel like matches your one word, I want you to give that fantasy raffle ticket away. Let me know down below, what is your one word to describe how Fernando Mendoza played yesterday? Please, please, please let me know down below, and we are going to give away a $5 raffle ticket here to get into my fantasy football league. Lopez is going to pick who it is, and if you get it, shout out to you. I see down below, Big Rock says fantastic, solid from Jason, great from Isaiah, promising from Sally, JW is going to go decent. We got efficient from JWB, rookie from William, slick from Marcel, pizza rolls.
There's one that I saw. The first word that popped into my mind.
It's probably pizza rolls.
It's not.
It's
a guy you didn't shout out. Yeah,
okay.
He's about to get a shout out though. But for some reason, the first word that popped in my mind, I'm gonna blame it on tiredness, was moist. I don't know why. And James Helms put
moist
sauce.
So your one word to describe how Mendoza played yesterday was moist.
I didn't say it was a good word.
I guess I don't even understand how. I mean, this is what looks like when you leave the office at 3 a.m.
You said think of a word. A word was moist. Don't know why. Can't get moist out of my head now. And James Helms actually commented so, but YouTube has some weird
I can't be mad.
transcribe thing, and it says sauce on my screen. So James Helms, you win.
James Helms, you get the raffle ticket. That's like me asking my wife, well, why? And she just hit me with cuz. Because
I can't describe it.
I can't get mad. I did keep the guys here pretty late, but we wanted to be able to get you guys Overreaction Friday out early Monday morning. Exactly. I'm tired too. But again, it is what it is, man. We haven't even, I might still be banged up from last night's happy hour at this point. This is just vodka, I swear.
When you think about it, we're all a little bit moist. The moistness is the friends that we made along the way.
Anybody that was watching this show last night is a little bit moist. There's no doubt. You might still be a little bit wet and wild. Let's face it. If you watched last night's show with us, I think you probably are in the same boat that Lopez and I are. If you're in the same boat, give me a boat emoji down below.
Spam your moist.
Since that one-word reaction was wild, whoever spams the boat emoji the most, I'm going to give you away a raffle ticket. Let's go to Angel. Yesterday, I saw a rookie, Mendoza, who was making veteran throws. I agree. There was also some very much rookie throws by Fernando. And I think that that first drive, he looked like he had some rookie jitters. And I just want people to watch that first drive Mendoza and second drive Mendoza. And to me, I really think that second drive Mendoza is going to be the quarterback that we get, because I think the one thing that we have to realize is he's a human being. And it's the first time he got to play in front of the Raiders, first time he got to play in front of Allegiant Stadium, the first time as the number 1 overall pick. He's running out. He's living his dream. I can't even imagine. I remember how nervous I was for my first college baseball pitching appearance, and I think for a lot of y'all out there probably felt, the same way. There was nerves, and he was, a little shaky in that first drive. And that's okay to say. And you look at that second drive, 9 plays, 79 yards, that's the veteran mentality that I want to see from Fernando Mendoza. I've been talking to some people that are very well respected in the NFL this morning, and there is. The consensus is that Mendoza wasn't perfect, but he showed you the resiliency. He showed you the ability to bounce back, and the Malik Benson throw is not honestly a great read because it's kind of in triple coverage, but it's a really good mark of a really amazing quarterback. When you kind of don't make the right read, but it's still a completion. I was arguing with a guy last night. He was like, it was a bad throw, Mitch. I'm like, okay, but you know what? I would love to have bad throws that result in 19-yard pickups to Malik Benson. But when that laser beam of a throw, the ability to see it. Now, he threw a hospital ball to Mike Washington Jr. early on in that game, but I agree. I was very impressed with Fernando Mendoza, and I would love to see him behind this first-team offense. I would love to see Mendoza with the first-team offense, because first offensive line compared to second-team offensive line, there is a difference. The biggest difference is Tyler Linderbaum to me. Also, we got to give a lot of credit, though, to that left side of the line. Spencer Burford, Linderbaum, I like the physicality that those guys are playing with. What up, Wild One? One word is rookie. Some good, some needing improvement. Yeah, and that's going to be it, though. But at the end of the day, I feel good about Fernando Mendoza, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to feel good when I put my head on my pillow last night that I felt confident about 15 in the silver and black. And I do. What up, Craig? Mitch, understanding it's preseason game, but play calling looked great. How exciting was all that pre-snap motion with Trey Tucker, Craig? Think about how much pre-snap motion Trey Tucker did on that first drive. I felt like it was every single time. The first 2 plays, 4 times I saw Trey Tucker pre-snap motion. But what I love about Klint Kubiak is he's so good at getting his guys open, and it's the setup, right? I know Klint the entire time was going, I'm going to get Michael Mayer a touchdown, and here's how I'm going to do it. Because they're doing pre-snap motion with Trey Tucker, and then they get into that situation. That touchdown throw to Michael Mayer with Kirk Cousins is set up because, watch, Tucker goes in motion. And I wonder if the defense thought he was going to run completely over like he's been doing the entire drive, and they caught him off guard, I think. Call hike, and Kirk knows right away. He's looking left, and it's if that corner follows Trey Tucker like he did, I'm going to have Michael Mayer in the flat. That's an easy ball. If that corner sits in the flat and it's got Michael Mayer, well, I got Trey Tucker then who's already got a head start running, and he makes the easy call, dumps it off, And when you have a veteran quarterback that knows exactly what he's supposed to do, that half a second that you save is the difference of Michael Mayer, stopping, turning around, catching it, maybe only a gain of 5, where Cousins throws it to him right when he needs to, allows, Mayer to continue his body movement, and then it turns up being a touchdown because Mayer's athletic enough. Like, we haven't really seen red zone play calling. We haven't really seen a lot of pre-snap motion. And again, it's just a preseason game, but I loved what I saw from the Raiders play calling there from Klint Kubiak. I think we got something with Washington and Benson. Completely agree. How about this? This is a fun question for all y'all out there, okay? For all y'all out there, who has more total yards this season, okay? Total yards, let's rushing and receiving. Malik Benson or Mike Washington Jr.? Give me a 30 for Mike Washington Jr. Give me a 19 for Malik Benson. Because this is why I want people to watch the Raiders Report. Why? These are the questions that I'm thinking about and I'm excited about, and I want to be able to have this fun debate, right? Like, I'm not going to call you out if you go Benson. I'm not going to call you out with Washington. Quite frankly, this is a good problem to have. This is a good conversation to be able to have. But, like, this is the type of shit that I want to talk about after a Raiders game day. But as bad as the DBs were, no pressure makes any quarterback primetime Tom Brady. And I agree with you. I agree with you. So, more total yards in 2026. Are we going to go Malik Benson at wide receiver or Mike Washington Jr.? Because to me, I believe Benson's going to be somewhere around like 550 receiving yards this season. Maybe he gets to 600. Like, I could see Benson, Trey Tucker, Jalen Naylor all having north of 500 receiving yards. Maybe even Jack Bech deserves to be in that conversation as well for how well that he played. But, like, Mike Washington Jr. is also going to get some run. And the number one thing that he did well yesterday, it wasn't the 56-yard run. It was his ability to pick up blitzes. And he didn't do it just once, and he didn't do it just twice. He showed physicality, and I know there today, when they meet in that film room, he's going to get a lot of kudos from Rick Dennison, a lot of kudos from Klint Kubiak, and a lot of kudos from me and Raider Nation, because that's what you need in that running back spot. And Mike Washington Jr. did a hell of a job. Hell of a job. I also realized I didn't put the boat in. So, Joshua Garcia, fantasy raffle ticket. There you go.
Way to spam those boats, guys.
That's on me. I realized I was like, I still see a lot of boats down below.
Like, why is there so many canoes in the chat? What's going on?
What's going on? Where am I? What's going on? Let's keep rolling through some super chats here. Once we get all caught up on all the supers, we will get into our very first segment on today's show. Can you just show the coming up real quick? And if you guys do not know, coming up today here live on the Raiders Report, we're just, again, answering questions around the Raiders preseason week 1 game. If you got a question, if you got a comment, hashtag Raiders Super Chat to skip the line. We are also going to get Raiders, winners and losers. Offense, defense. There's a lot more winners on offense. A lot more losers on defense. It's just the way that it goes. I'm also going to give you an updated Raiders 53-man roster projection after that first preseason game. Also, I want you guys to be a part of the show. Hashtag Raiders. We're going to take some of the best super chats, some of the best questions that we get from the entirety of this live show, and we're going to put them in a mailbag at the very, very end. I like to do mailbags after preseason games. I like to do mailbags after regular season games because I want people to know what Raider Nation thinks. I want the important people that I know for a fact watch this show. I want them to know what Raider Nation thinks. Whether they do anything with that information or not, I just know that there are really important people that you guys know by name that watch this program. So I want you guys to be able to get your opinions on this show, and I mean that when I say it. So coming up here, the next show that I will do, winners and losers. And once we get through all the super chats, that'll be the one that we get to. Cool. Nope, you're good. Lopez is going to go take a quick little pee. I do have a special deal because I did get a question on the program earlier. Somebody asked Mitch, it's Friday, it's happy hour, and I was like, well, not exactly. So the way that I'm trying to do today's show is I'm going to set this show up very similar to the way that I would do, a Monday show, for example. So obviously, most of the time, the Raiders will play on Sunday. This season, no primetime games. It's going to be Sunday. So what you guys can expect from me on Monday is me trying to be live right around the time that I went live today, and we're going to talk winners and losers. We're going to talk about the biggest trending topics going around this team. We're going to probably look at some other, news, rumors. We'll do the whole shebang. The only way we're doing a happy hour is if we outscore the Klint Kubiak offense. Like, to me, I think it's a fair deal. We had a lot, and I mean a lot of beers last night, if I'm being honest with all of y'all. And the way that happy hour would go is I would want to do it after my 3 segments, and it would be me waiting and hanging out for a little bit longer. Hell, maybe it's the final hour before the freaking Jets game with Geno Smith. I don't know what it's going to be. What I'm just telling you is this. I'm not ready for a beer yet. It's going to have to be a little bit, and if we do it, it's going to be an extra 60 minutes of a program. So I planned on staying live today for 4 hours, and Lopez is out right now, but I got to give a lot of credit to my chat sports team last night. I know I'm not the easiest guy to work with, and that's just because I am so loyal to y'all, and I know that, like, the job I want to do is, I want to be able to keep that rolling. I have a high expectation for this show. I have a high expectation for myself. And truthfully, we didn't get out of here until like 2:30 last night. So, like, I know that they were tired. I know that they probably did not get a lot of sleep. So, to me, I planned on staying live for 4 hours. Obviously, I talked to Nick. I talked to some of the other guys, and we were like, all right, it's fair. If you guys outscore the Raiders in points, in bangs, 15 bangs for Mendoza, 15 bangs, we outscore them, we'll stay live for an extra hour. In total, 5-hour live show. If you guys are down to keep the party rolling and we can do a hate watch for Geno Smith on that first drive, second drive, I don't care how many drives in that Jets game, I'll be down to do it. But I'm just letting you know, if you guys want to participate and play in the game, that's how it's got to go. To the 400 people here in the building right now, we got 150 likes in the building, and I just want you to know I greatly appreciate each and every one of y'all that show up, show out here every single day. And if you want to shout out on the Raiders Report, type me down below because I appreciate you. What up, Sherlock? I got Bo Mackey down below. David Zahn, what's up, my guy? Bo Mackey here in the building, the real E. Mr. Zahn, what's up, brother? It's good to see you, Dave. It's good to see you, Dave. Prize Picks Flex Friday from Stoffel the Badger. I mean, I'm going to have to see if Geno is. Can somebody go on Prize Picks and tell me if Geno Smith is there for an intercept? Huh?
Only projection they had for Geno was 0.5 touchdowns.
Come on, Prize Picks.
Yeah, I don't think they have as many projections as they will in the regular season.
There's going to be a passing yards one. There's going to be a passing yards one.
We were looking earlier because I was talking to.
It might not be
Jets
out
guy.
yet. There's going to be one.
Let me see if they updated. I can check.
We gotta. I mean, I'll tell you this right now. It's. It would be interesting to do a watch party only for a quarter for Geno or some shit like that. David said, "Man, I missed the game. I was playing Call of Duty." Zahn, Call of Duty, wild. Speaking of that, wild one. After the preseason game, what offensive, defensive, and special team player needs to step it up the most? I mean, I will say offense for me personally. I mean, I want to see Dante Thornton Jr. succeed. I do think his upside is definitely high, but he's got to get out there on the field. Right guard, like I want to see Caleb Rogers, JPJ. I would say that they were probably the weakest link of that offensive line yesterday. On special teams, it's got to be Kansai, but I could also challenge Joe D. Camillus. Like, let's be honest with ourselves. There's no way you're excited about this kicking situation right now. And then on defense, Jermod McCoy. But again, I mean, that's his first football action since what, 2024?
Yeah, because he missed all of 2025.
I mean,
when he was at Tennessee.
He looked like a guy that hadn't played football since 2024. It's going to be rusty, and that's just going to but I think we say that because the expectation for Jermod McCoy is very, very high. But I would say that those are my guys right now. Aiden Carlson, dad joke of the day. I saw a one-legged man the other day at the ATM. He was checking his balance.
That's funny. that was a good one. Yoda Jenkins would approve that one.
Shout out to Aiden Carlson.
Rebel, you're not late.
Can you call your cousin Daniel and see what he's doing? Can you call your cousin Daniel and see what he's doing? What's up? I did not get an order in. I want the the chicken Texan. You already know. I want that. And tell him to make it extra sloppy for him. No.
Mitch wants it sloppy.
Well, I was worried because I didn't get my lunch order in, so I was like, I'm about to thug this happy hour out.
Mitch loves a sloppy Texan. You just heard that.
I got it. Yep. Nice.
I ordered Mexican, like a good little Lopez.
Nice. Dude, some Mexican food. Like, all right, real talk. What's your favorite thing to eat? What's your favorite thing to eat when you're a little bit hungover the next day?
That was an option at the Mexican place.
Lingua tacos? Get out of here.
That was an option.
No, I'll tell you this. I ate sea urchin the other day, so I'm confident that I could eat lingua tacos now. I ate sea urchin, not once, but twice. It was crazy.
They say it tastes like steak.
I went to a dinner on, it would have been Monday night in Las Vegas. One of the craziest dinner experiences I've ever had. Shout out to, I believe it's called Ito, ITO, for the hospitality to me and my family and everyone. You know, I mean, it was, it's one of the craziest dinner situations I've ever been a part of. I think it's called omakase, which I'm probably not saying that correct. Omakase.
Is that the restaurant or is that?
No, it's like how they serve the food. Again, I'm not bougie like that. Alex was excited about it. I know when we got invited to go. So
you're like, where's the chicken tenders on this menu?
Yeah, you ain't getting chicken tenders. I mean, the first few things that we were eating, I was like, oh my God, I might be in trouble here. Because I was hungry. And I mean, it ended up being incredible. Like it was incredible. But it's like a lot of nigiri sushi. But I ate sea urchin. I'm proud to say it. Let's go to the next one here from Aggressive Master Raider. Head's been in the clouds lately, but whatever happened with Vita, we definitely need help on the defensive line, like what I saw from all three quarterbacks. What, you head's been in the clouds lately? Is that
Might
you?
Be from all the master rating.
Maybe. I don't know whatever happened with the whole Vita situation. Again, I mean, it went very, very silent. There was clearly some rumblings, rumors that happened, I guess, probably at this point 10 days ago, right? For Vita's agent to say that he really only feels like it's going to end up in a trade, and there hasn't been any progress really since that point. I mean, you're going back to August 5th. I'll say it like this. I have not heard anything, right? Like, I'm not ever going to sit up here on this show and talk about shit just for the sake of talking about it. I'm not going to do it. Now, I'll talk about rumors if I think that they're important. And if I think talking about Vita Vea is important, I will do it. And I did do it last week, and I did it, leading up. But I have not heard anything on Vita. Nothing new has been reported around the Bucs, around this situation. I promise you, the moment that we get an update, or if there is an update, I will talk about it on this program. But I do not have any word at all on Vita. In terms of the Raiders' defensive line, I was definitely a little bit disappointed in just, the lack of pressure. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, they had literally 0 sacks. I mean, there was no pressure at all on the Arizona Cardinals. But still no Max Crosby. He does make a really, really big difference because he gets double teamed. So when he gets double teamed with the guys that we have, like, I'm not trying to, think about, like a basketball team, right? Like, when you take Steph Curry off that court, it's just a completely different team. And Steph just opens it up for all the other guys, and that's kind of how this defense is built. We don't have guys that are really, truly like guys that are going to win a lot of one-on-one matchups, but with a smart defensive scheme, Max takes on a double team, you bring the right people in, and I think that you're going to be able to create a little bit more pressure with that. But Tonka Hemingway's got to get some more playing time, and I think if Crosby, Tonka, and Quiddy are all out there, you're going to see more and more and more and more, because the other thing that we don't really have is we have okay depth. So, like, for us to be good, we need constant rotation, and I think the Raiders yesterday, they were just trying to mix and match some different players out there. In terms of all three quarterbacks, with all due respect, there's no way that you can put Aiden in the same conversation as Fernando Mendoza or Kirk Cousins. Now, maybe it's expectation, but Mendoza and Kirk Cousins, I would both give an A grade. Aiden, I'm not giving anything above a C grade. And again, he also didn't have as much talent. He also did not have as many pieces around him on that offensive line. But if you liked what you saw from Aiden O'Connell yesterday, I expected more out of AOC personally. What up, Jacob Souter? Might be an overreaction. Hey, that's why we're here. From last night, but I'm calling it now. Jim Schwartz as the defensive coordinator in 2027. I really hope that that's not the case. I appreciate you making a call. I appreciate you giving a take, and I appreciate you participating in Overreaction Friday. I really honestly do. But at the exact same time, Rob Leonard's defense did not look like Rob Leonard's defense. And the only thing that I'm saying, and like the number one reason why, and I agree with Cass Joey Super Chat earlier, he was talking about how vanilla the defense is. Like Rob Leonard, everything when he talks about the style of defense he wants to play is don't blink, get fast football. And he likes to bring pressure. Again, he's learned from Brian Flores. He's learned from Mike McDonald. There's nothing about that defense yesterday that I thought screamed we're going to bring a lot of pressure. If anything, and this is sometimes how I wonder if they evaluate the preseason, was yesterday's game for defense a true evaluation of what our young rookie cornerbacks look like, if they're a little bit on an island. And that's kind of what I saw. Like, they're putting Hezekiah Massis out there in the nickel. They're putting him out there on the outside. They're putting Jermod McCoy in these one-on-one situations. I think what I saw yesterday was kind of like, is it baptism by fire? Like, what's that terminology where you're just, it's kind of like the way that I remember I learned how to swim. My dad threw me in the pool. I can't think of the saying, but like to me, like I wonder if that's how the defensive mindset was yesterday. And I'm not saying that they were purposely trying to put them in situations where the players didn't succeed, but I do wonder if yesterday, because we're trying to figure out who that other cornerback's going to be, if the game plan was like, we're not going to bring a lot of pressure. We're going to play vanilla defense. We don't want to give away a lot of the things that we're going to do. We want to be able to use a lot of that stuff next week against the Texans in joint practice, which I guarantee you talk to a lot of coaches, they get a lot more value out of joint practice than they do a preseason game, especially that first one. But I wonder if it was like, hey, let's throw these guys in the pool. Let's see if they swim. And that's my hope. That's me putting glass half full on how our cornerbacks played yesterday. What up, Gunny? If you guys don't know, go to saveawarrior.org/donate. It was so good seeing you and your wife on Tuesday, Crash Dog. It was so good being able to see you. I mean, honestly, Gunny was the one that helped me at the Raider Nation image store, and he was the one waiting out there, and I was trying to get his attention. I'm like, yo, I can't come out there. I can't come out there. And there was a few security guards. They were looking at me because I couldn't go out. So finally, Gunny looked at me. I saw the 71 Save a Warrior jersey, and I was like, bro, I'll come find you down.
Your eyes met. It was
well,
like a scene in a movie.
I mean, what was so cool was I saw a Save a Warrior jersey. So, it was... Again, I was in the Raider image store, and my Alex, by the way, she was looking for like some Raider stuff. We got her some Raider stuff. She's, I think we're getting close. I don't know if she'll ever be. I don't know if she'll ever be a full-on Raider fan because of her dad and how much he unfortunately likes the Cowboys, but she loves Raider Nation. I'll tell you that. Really enjoyed being able to see you again, and it was great to meet Alex. She is a sweetheart. My wife loved her. Next time, take your security with you. LOL. I got you, man. I hope that I can do it. And it's a goal of mine. It's a goal of mine to be able to create really unbelievable experiences for people that watch this show in Allegiant Stadium moving forward. And personally, I think I made some of the right connections this past weekend. And I do think I'm really going to be able to open up the doors for more Raiders Report watchers to have unbelievable experiences in Allegiant Stadium. It's what I'm going to try to do. You have my word. I'm trying to do it. What up, Gunny? Listen to you getting banged up yesterday while I was at the game. Go to Save a Warrior for veterans and first responders struggling. Yeah, I was kind of kicking myself in the butt a little bit yesterday for how banged up I got. But I also know how excited I was yesterday. I do not plan on drinking that much during Raiders' actual game days, and I say that because, that's how I start my week, right? It's how I start my week. We'll probably do that shit like on Thursday night football, but I am getting older. It's not as easy waking up the next morning like when I was in my young 20s. But at the same time, I wake up every single day, and I can't wait to come to work. I wake up every single day, and I'm excited to talk to Raider Nation. And if you feel the exact same way after a Raiders game day, win, lose, or a Chugs tie, I hope that you show up to the Raiders Report because I'm going to be here every single day after a Raiders game day to talk about what happened. It's why I want y'all to hit that subscribe button. We got 400 people here in the building right now. I see my brother from another Bayou Raider in the building. What up, Dino? What up, CB? I see Shep. I see Daniel. What's up? What's up? What's up? You guys are watching Raiders Overreaction Friday. I see a lot of people saying everybody needs to calm down. And I hear you, but I also like to talk about Overreaction Friday, and it's a show that, honestly, we've been doing for a long, long time. But whether it's an overreaction, whether it's a talking point, I think if you are talking about it, there's a reason why you're talking about it. So whether it's good, whether it's bad, that's what we're going to discuss here on the show. I did see another super chat from B. Moore. We will get to that after the next segment that we do here on the program. So the next thing that I got for all y'all, we are going to get in to the Raiders' winners and losers from the preseason game. I am going to be honest. It's going to be a lot more winners on offense, and it's going to be a lot less winners on defense, but that's how this show has to go. I also want all y'all to know I was reached out by a family member of a Raiders player, and when I use the term winners and losers, it's just I'll call it a content creator term. I'm not purposely calling your son. I'm purposely not calling Raiders players losers. It is just like stock up, stock down. But I've used winners and losers because I did fantasy football, and it's a terminology that I like to lose. So I just want all y'all to know that. And it's preseason. I get it. The losers are not, it's not that big of a deal. But we got to be able to talk about it. It's the point of the show, right? Just want all y'all to know. Because then I talked this, and I didn't talk to any Raiders players yet since the game. But I had a few guys, give me a follow back, and that meant a lot to me. So to all the Raiders players that did, shout out to you guys. You ready? You guys ready to rock and roll here? Coming up on the Raiders Report, and after this, we're going to talk about some Super Chats, and I'm going to tell you how big this duck race is because I haven't added the names yet. We got some people in this duck race, and to all y'all that show up and show out every single day, if you send in let's do a $60 Venmo while I'm doing the winners and losers, I'm going to give you an extra duck on the house. Buy 3 ducks, you get the 4th for free. Let's have a good time. We're going to be live here, I think, for another probably 3 hours today, chopping it up with Raider Nation, breaking it all down with you. And if you want Nick and I to heckle Geno Smith later on tonight in the preseason, we have to outscore the Raiders in bangs tonight. We're down 14-0, and it's okay if we don't beat it, but I'm just going to tell you after the night we had last night, it might be one of the most interesting happy hours of all time. Hell, I feel like I've already had a happy hour, and all I've had today is water and coffee. I feel like I've already had a happy hour. All right, y'all, let's do it. You ready? Coming up, winners and losers right here on the Raiders Report. Coming up here on the Raiders Report, I got the biggest winners and losers from their Week 1 preseason game against the Arizona Cardinals. But I'm just going to say it like this. If you're watching the Raiders Report and you're subscribed, you're a winner in my book. You're a real one, and I appreciate you. But if you're watching without hitting that subscribe button, loser mentality. Today's Winners and Losers show is presented by Prize Picks, and coming up on the show, I'm going to break down the biggest winners on offense, the biggest winners on defense, but unfortunately, we're going to talk more positively about the offense, and we're going to talk a little bit more negatively about the defense and special teams. And I just want everyone to know out there, the term winners and losers is just a term that I like to use as a content creator. I am not calling your son or daughter a winner or loser. I am simply just making this show so Raider fans know who I thought played well and who I didn't think play well. So overall, 27-14, your Raiders leaders: Fernando Mendoza, Mike Washington Jr., Malik Benson. And realistically, the Klint Kubiak offense was successful, but the Rob Leonard defense, the Joe DiCamillo special teams, is really where we're going to talk about quite a bit on this show. And typically, I like to start with the offense. But I'm sorry, I think that you have to really talk about the defense when you're doing a show like this. Let's talk about the winners on defense. And again, there's really not that many out there. I look at a player like Dalton Johnson. I thought he did a good job on special teams. He had 4 tackles. He was drafted in the 5th round. And to me, that's the role that he needs to be able to play, a good special team safety. Let's go to number 4, special teams / defense. Matt Gay was a winner last night because he made 2 extra points. But again, it's not really that I think he's winning the job. It's unfortunately, Special K is losing that job. Coming in at number 3, I'm going to go with Quay Walker at the linebacker position. I loved the tough mentality that Quay Walker was bringing downhill, and I thought he was filling a lot of holes. I liked his mentality. I liked the tone that he was setting. I think that when you see Max Crosby out there, when you see Tonka out there, and you see a lot of our starting defensive players all working together, and it's a chemistry thing, it's going to take some time. But with that no-blink mentality that Rob Leonard is sooner or later going to have to bring, Quay Walker is going to benefit, but I liked what I saw out of Walker. Let's go to number 2 here. It's going to be Grady Vance. He played a ton in this game, and spoiler alert, he's going to be in my 53-man roster video. Why? Because of his ability in the nickel. This is going to be a team that's going to play a lot of 3 safeties. They're going to play a lot of dime package. They're playing a lot of 3 3-3-5. They're playing a lot of 4-2-5, and they value Greedy Vance to be a backup to Taron Johnson. Also, he's a feisty player. They like his ability on special teams. He's made some big plays already in training camp. Greedy Vance, I'm telling you right now, I believe he led the team in tackles yesterday in that football game, played a ton of snaps. He did, 10 tackles in total. Shout out to Greedy Vance. I think you're going to make the team, young man. But let's go to number 1. Patrick Johnson, the defensive end, for the Raiders. I personally think that he had the best game overall. He had 6 total tackles. He had a sack, a tackle for loss, 2 quarterback hits, and he played a lot earlier in that football game than I actually thought he was going to play. I remember watching 93 run around the field, and, that's a newly acquired guy. Do I think he ends up making the 53-man roster? No, I do not. But I do think that was somebody that needed a good game, had himself a good game, and I was really proud of what he was able to go out there and what he was able to do. I have some honorable mentions here in just a moment, I believe, on defense, and if I don't, Lopez is looking at me like I don't, then I forgot to put Kean Sloan on this winners list. You can blame that on the beers from last night, Kean. That's on me. Kean Sloan also absolutely positively deserves to be a winner with a sack. I love his motor. I love the energy that the UDFA out of NC State is bringing to the squad. Coming up next, though, we got to talk about some of the losers on the defensive side of the football. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of names that we're going to have to discuss. But you were a winner last night. If you followed me on Prize Picks at Mitchell Renz 365, and if it was your first $5 lineup, you're welcome on the $150 in lineups that you got. Now, if you're new to the program, this show is presented by Prize Picks, and if you use code HMA, you're going to be able to get $150 in lineups if you win your first $5 lineup. So what I like to do on a game day, and it's going to be something that I do all season long, is I'll give you a $5 lineup for the new users out there. I'll give you a $5 lineup, and yesterday, my $5 lineup ended up winning $25, and if you would have rode with that bad boy, congratulations, you would have won $175 in total in lineups yesterday on Prize Picks. Now, Jeremiah Love got the more. Fernando Mendoza scored the touchdown. Malik Benson, that is a nail-biter right there at 26 receiving yards. But you know what? I felt confident in it. I also love the people that gave me a follow on Prize Picks, but also copied my lineup. And this is going to be something that I do moving forward. I want people to know that I love the fact that people sweat through games with me. And I don't care the amount of times I've heard, Mitch, it's just a preseason game. The people that are copying my lineups for a preseason game, real ones. These are people that I probably are a part of the Noti gang. Why? Because at the end of the day, I was so excited to watch Raiders football again, and people that are copying my lineups on Prize Picks, I think, are also excited to be able to watch the games with me. So guess what? I'm going to be putting Prize Picks lineups in. I'm going to be talking Prize Picks all season long, and if you do not now, please go get started with our sponsor. It's a major help to us. Also, I'm going to talk about it every single day, and I mean it. I have a lot of fun when I play with it, giggity, and I think that you guys will too. Shout out to Prize Picks code HMA, $150 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup over on America's #1 sports pick app. And on Prize Picks, it feels good to be right. I was right twice. Let's go to the losers on defense. I think you have to put Rob Leonard in this conversation. Do I agree that we played a very vanilla defense? Do I wonder if it was done on purpose? Do I wonder if the Raiders were literally trying to, throw the kids into the deep end of the pool and see them sink or swim with such a vanilla defense in our young corners with Hezekiah Massis, Darian Porter, Jermod McCoy? I mean, let's face it, there was a lot of, I felt like let's throw them in the deep end, let's see if they sink or swim type shit. But Rob Leonard got to be better, right? I mean, let's just be honest. It was a bad defensive performance by this team from top to bottom. The defensive line, I wanted to see more pressure. Can you show the graphic of the 0 pressures? But, the first half stats, that's not going to be good enough. And the Arizona Cardinals carved us up in that first half of defense. If Gardner Minshew and Jacoby Brissett are 15 of 15, that can't happen. 0 incompletions forced. 0 sacks for the Raiders defense. 201 yards allowed, but we're 0 for 6 on third down. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns allowed. I get it that they also had an extra preseason game, and they did. They looked like the sharper team. They looked like they got that extra experience. But I'm sorry, I do not anticipate the Arizona Cardinals to be a very good football team, and I don't anticipate us to win many football games if we don't generate pressure. Because if we don't generate pressure, I think our secondary might look the way that it did in that preseason game, which is cause for concern. Let's go to number 3 here. It's going to be Jermod McCoy. The number one reason why I'm not putting Jermod as the biggest loser of the game yesterday, and I get it, he gave up 2 touchdowns, and he was probably disappointed in the game. we also have to remind ourselves he hasn't played since 2024. And he looked like a rookie. He looked inexperienced, and he looked rusty. It's going to take a little bit of time, and maybe that's the reason why, the Raiders are kind of doing this slow process. They want to be able to build up his confidence because I want Jermod McCoy to be successful, and I know he's going to be successful. It might just take a little bit of time because the guy hasn't played football since 2024, and I know he plays in the SEC, but that's a long, long time, and I know there's training camp, OTAs, all this stuff, but this is live action. It's just a little bit different. I'm not overly concerned, but when you give up 2 touchdowns and you're in a cornerback battle, that does make you a loser on this show. Let's go to number 2 here. It's going to be Special K, Kansai Matsuzawa, the Tokyo Toe. He just doesn't have a lot of confidence right now. The opening kick in the second half, that going out of bounds. A missed 38-yard field goal. It's adding up over and over and over. Maybe he makes this squad as the International Pathway Program player. I'm not really going to pick apart Kansai because I am rooting for him a lot, but I think we have to be real, man. It's a loser. And then coming in here at number 1, I'm just going to throw the entire secondary into the mix, and I feel bad because I feel like now I'm just kind of hitting Jermod McCoy with another shot to the gut, which is not what I intended to do. But, the number one concern that I think Raiders fans have from a defensive standpoint from that game yesterday, it's the secondary in general, right? Taron Johnson gets called for a hold. Isaiah Paul-Amal, Darian Porter, I think, split kind of giving up a touchdown there in that very first touchdown Arizona had. Hezekiah Masses, I don't think, looked particularly good. Jermod McCoy, obviously, I was just talking about, didn't look great. DeCamerion Richardson, he was excused, so that should be noted. He was excused for the birth of his child. I was curious why he did not play in that football game, but, let's be real, man. That was not a good performance, and I have been saying all offseason long that the free safety spot is a cause for concern. And it's still looking like this secondary could be a little bit of an issue. Coming up next year, though, we're going to get into the winners and the losers on the offensive side of the football. If you don't know, I'm live on the Raiders Report right now. And if you don't know, after every single Raiders game day, I will be live the next day, and we'll be live for many, many hours. So if you feel the exact same way I do when you wake up after Raiders game day and you want to talk about it, the good, the bad, and the ugly, hey, Overreaction Monday, Overreaction Friday here on the Raiders Report. Make sure you're subscribed. Let's go to the winners. On the offensive side of the football, again, I'm ranking these from 5 all the way down to 1. 1 is the biggest winner in my opinion. I am going to put Fernando Mendoza on here, and to me, he looked like a rookie that had a little bit of jitters on that first drive. And imagine, number 1 overall pick, you're running out in Allegiant Stadium. He gets to live his lifelong dream of being an NFL quarterback. And I think even Fernando Mendoza is a human being, and I think he looked like somebody that was a little jittery. That second drive, 9 plays, 79 yards. That's why you draft him number 1 overall, because in the biggest moments, he made the biggest plays when he needed to in that game yesterday, and I thought that I loved the resiliency, his ability to bounce back. I know that there was some good. Don't get me wrong, there was some flashes of he looked like a rookie, but the number 1 thing I wanted to come out with from yesterday's game are technically 2 things. No injuries, check. And then number 2, I wanted to be confident in Fernando Mendoza. I still feel really confident about Fernando Mendoza. Let's go to number 4 here, Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins was really good on that first drive. They looked incredible on that first drive. A lot of pre-snap motion by Klint Kubiak. Got to tip your cap to him. But 5 of 6, 40 yards. That was a great drive. Ashton Genty picking up a tough first down there behind Tyler Linderbaum. Absolutely love seeing that type of shit. But for Kirk Cousins, that was a good drive. And that was without Brock Bowers. When Brock Bowers goes on the field, Brock Bowers' impact on offense is going to be just like when Max Crosby goes on that field on defense. It's going to look like a totally different team. Coming in here at number 3, Mike Washington Jr. And truly was super proud of the young running back out of Arkansas. 6 carries, 63 yards, broke off that big 56-yard run. But the number 1 reason why he's a big-time winner, and I really thought about putting him at number 2 for this reason. He showed that he is not afraid to block. And, Washington has that tough mentality. He wants to run through people. He's run through our own guys at training camp practices, and he likes that physicality. Him picking up blitz packages, absolutely loved what I saw. Shout out to Baldy for putting some of those clips out. I tweeted them out. I also shared them on my Instagram, at Mitchell Renz 365. But our ability to block, spring guys open, loved it. And then Mike's ability to he's out there hitting people. He wants to hit people. I love it, man. Let's go to number 2 here. Michael Mayer. You saw the Raiders want to get Mayer involved, and you saw the touchdown, but it's the setup. It's a lot of pre-snap motion with Trey Tucker, but it's getting into the red zone, using Michael Mayer. To me, that's how they're going to use Brock Bowers. This is going to be a team that uses its tight ends, that utilizes the guys, but most importantly, it showed me that Klint Kubiak knows what he's got because he knows he's got another really good young tight end in 87, and he took advantage of the situation. Hell of a job, Michael Mayer. Hell of a job. Coming up, though, next, the biggest winner on the offensive side of the football here for the Las Vegas Raiders. And if you watched my live show, you probably know where I'm going to go with this one. But you know what? Very, very happy for the performance that young man had. Also, I always say, we got the best community here on planet Earth when it comes to Raiders fans. And obviously, I love to look at the comments. I love to see what you guys have to say. And there are definitely comments that make me chuckle, but I also love the ones that, good morning, Raider Nation. I like when you guys give your takes. I say this all the time. You will become a smarter Raiders fan. I think you'll become a better Raiders fan if you're subscribed to this show because you're going to get takes, and I want people to go down in the comments and interact with them, whether you agree, whether you disagree, right? It's how Chat Sports, it's how the Raiders Report needs to work. It's how my family table, it's how that campfire of people that I'm around is always going down. So I want you to look at some of these comments. I appreciate people that leave comments, and if I see some that I like and that are all stacked up in a row, I'm just going to take some screenshots, and you're going to see that quite a bit, I would imagine, this upcoming season. Let's go to the number one winner on offense, and I think it's got to be Jack Bech. I'm excited for Jack Bech. This was a game that, I said on a show earlier this week, Malik Benson is the wide receiver 3 of this team. Jack Bech just said, well, not so fast, sweetheart, and I'm happy that he did it. Bech, to me, there was multiple plays where he's the reason why I thought he was the biggest winner. Obviously, again, he's in a wide receiver 3 battle, and he was great. But he showed you the physicality. He showed you the ability to catch a really tough third down ball where it wasn't a great ball, goes up for it. He's strong enough to be able to hold on it, brings it in, first down Raiders, right? That extends the drive. We end up scoring on that drive. So then you got another one where he creates some separation, brings it in, first down Raiders. The sliding catch from Fernando Mendoza, touchdown Raiders. But it's the Mike Washington Jr. 56-yard run. I have the clip on my Instagram, on my Twitter, at Mitchell Renz 365. Go check out the clip. And again, it's set up by great offensive line blocking. And then Bech comes in at the end and he cleans it up to really spring them forward. And Washington's off to the races. That is the type of shit that I love seeing from Jack Bech, and I was super happy for him. I'm super happy that he had the game that he did because I wanted to see a wide receiver step up, and Jack Bech showed me that guy's a gamer. Here are some other honorable mentions here on the offensive side of the football. I want to give some credit to the left side of the offensive line. I liked what I saw in Colton Miller. Spencer Burford I thought was physical. Tyler Linderbaum. That first down run on third down one with Ashton Genty, it tells me Klint Kubiak knows what he invested in Tyler Linderbaum. He knows what his strengths are, and it's going to be Ashton Genty's got to be a winner too because the offensive line with Rick Dennison is already noticeably better. I liked what I saw out of Malik Benson, Trey Tucker, pre-snap motion. That fires me the F up. Charles Grant, the offensive tackle, is pancaking guys. Now, the offensive line did get called for holding from time to time, but overall, Connor Hayward, another guy that I thought had himself a pretty darn good game, did give up, I think, one penalty, one hold, but the offense looked good. Our offense looked like our head coach is an offensive-minded head coach. That's what we look like. Now, I got some also losers to talk about here on the offensive side of the football, but if you do not know, I'm excited about this Klint Kubiak team. I'm excited about the 2026 Raiders. I am a proud Raiders fan, and I know that there's a lot of people that bleed silver and black and have been a fan way longer than me, and I know there's a lot of people out there that have been wombed to the tomb, that your parents are fans, and I love that type of stuff. But I also want people to know that I'm really proud of the community that we've built. And anytime you see somebody wearing a Raiders Report shirt, it is. I want you to go up and introduce yourself. Let's keep on growing this community. So whether you think that we're Kubiak, whether you're a Fernando Mendoza fan, whether you need a cup of coffee or maybe even a beer, we got beer mugs, we got glasses. This is the epitome of you appreciate what I do. You're not afraid to show that you appreciate what we do. And when you wear Raiders Report gear, I saw so many Raiders Report fans at the open practice on Tuesday. I saw a lot of Raiders Report fans, even Monday walking around the strip, and it helped me be able to know, oh shit, that's a guy that watches the show. But it was also a way where, Gunny, I was around Gunny. I got to meet Ron Raspberry, his daughter. I got to see Rebel Montana. Rebel was with me when we ran into all these Raiders Report fans at one time. It's humbling. It is humbling. So thank you to guys, everyone out there that supports me in this show. And if there's any other gear that you want, let me know. Right? I want to know what you guys have to say. Let's now go to the losers on the offensive side of the football. Coming in here at number 4, Philip Dorsett at the wide receiver position. He was targeted 6 times, had 1 catch. And he had this, I believe he's tied for the most targets in the game for the Raiders yesterday. I think that they were trying to get him the ball. The only veteran, really wide receiver on this team, the only guy over the age of 29. I don't believe Brandon Johnson is, I believe he's 28. But Philip Dorsett, 33 years old. He had a bad game. A lot of drops. Number 3, I'm going to go the offensive line depth. There were definitely times where our second and our third unit, when Mendoza was at quarterback and Aiden O'Connell was at quarterback, where you got to admit, you felt a little bit nervous. You felt a little bit shaky about the pressures that they're giving up. And I think that's, again, you're talking about the difference between Atonio Mafi. But, also, I wanted to see a little bit more, even from Caleb Rogers and JPJ, which we'll talk about here in a moment. But, coming in here at number 2, I'm going to say Aiden O'Connell. And some people were like, Aiden didn't play bad. He's dealing with less talent around him, and you're not wrong. But if we're talking about the quarterback battle for what it is, and I think also for what Aiden O'Connell needs to be for the Las Vegas Raiders, because also when I do my winners and losers, Raider fans should want AOC to go out there and ball. And they should want him to go out there and ball because it's going to make either A, the Raiders think about keeping him on this roster to be a backup to Fernando Mendoza, B, a team's going to trade for him. We save $3.7 million. We get extra draft capital. So, I wanted to see more out of Aiden, but, if you're also an NFL team, or if you want the Raiders to trade AOC, you look at what Kirk Cousins did, Fernando Mendoza did, and they were clearly the better quarterback, and clearly the Raiders are invested in those two guys and not Aiden O'Connell. So I think because of the entire situation, that's why he's a loser from that game yesterday. And then, number 1, I'm going to go the starting right guard battle. I would say out of the entire starting 5 offensive line, Jackson Powers-Johnson was the worst out of the 5 starters. I also was not impressed by Caleb Rogers out there on the line. Now, I got to see what Sanjit says. Obviously, I really value his opinion on this Raiders offensive line. I'm going to go watch some film, which I will try to do. I did not get the chance to watch any film yet this morning. But sometimes, as the game's going on, I'm writing down notes, and I did. I felt like in the game, there was one highlight that I saw of JPJ, and the Raiders are kind of in the red zone, and he's just not really blocking anybody. He gives up a sack, and, we back up a little bit. I just need a more consistent Jackson Powers-Johnson. And I think I need a more consistent Caleb Rogers. And right now, that right guard spot, it was a little bit concerning. And if we're talking extra competition, I do wonder if you could kick DJ Glaze in there to right guard, and maybe Charles Grant deserves to play right tackle. Because Charles Grant, to me, did look good overall. So one more time here, let's quickly run through my Raiders winners and losers in the 27-14 loss to the Arizona Cardinals. Dalton Johnson, Matt Gay, Quay Walker, Greedy Vance, Patrick Johnson, Kean Sloan, to me, were the biggest winners on defense. Unfortunately, though, the losers, Rob Leonard, vanilla defense, the defensive line, not a lot of pressure, 0 sacks. Jermon McCoy, Katsu Matsuzawa, the secondary. I don't need to beat this one over the head. I think we know that those were some losers in that game. On offense, the winners. I loved what I saw out of Fernando Mendoza and Kirk Cousins, Klint Kubiak, this offense. Shout out to Mike Washington Jr., Michael Mayer, Jack Bech. Really also was impressed with Rick Dennison's ability already early on with this offensive line. Losers on offense. Philip Dorsett was targeted 6 times. The offensive line depth, second, third unit. Aiden was unfortunately the worst quarterback, and I expect more out of JPJ in this Caleb Rogers battle. Luckily, it's only the first week of the preseason, but already the Las Vegas Raiders under Klint Kubiak are winners in my book. Shout out to all of y'all out there, man. Appreciate it. The fact that you guys tune in to the Raiders Report as often as you do. Really, really do. Appreciate it. If you don't know what the deals are on the program today. Did I stop before I was supposed to? Oh, sorry. No, I was like, I thought I skipped over something. Today's deals that we're doing today are every 100 likes, I'm going to give away a raffle ticket for a shot to get in my fantasy football league. I also noticed that we are at 223 likes. So how about once we get to 300 likes, we'll give away 3 tickets. Once we get to 200 likes, which we're already at, we'll give away 2 tickets. So how about this question here? Who was your opinion the Raiders' biggest winner against the Arizona Cardinals? Let me know down below. Who was the Raiders' biggest winner up against the Arizona Cardinals? Let me know down below. We'll give some shout-outs here, and what we'll end up doing is we'll pick 2 people. It's not, you don't have to agree with me. It has nothing to do with that. It's just I'm going to pick 2 people, and we're going to give away 2 raffle tickets. You can go number, you can go name, whatever is the easiest for you. I'll give some shout-outs here to the 400 people in the building. We appreciate you. The Zach Daddy, thank you, man. Greatly appreciate that. We got Jack Besh from Stoffel the Badger, Mike Washington from Ari. I see another one from Mike Washington Jr. from CJ Raider. Bayou Raider, back to work for a few. I'll be back in 30. I won't tell your boss. Bayou's his boss, just so you know. Sherlock says Mike Washington Jr. A lot of people are saying Washington. I like this. So I would say right now Washington and Besh are the top two. R3 in sports and me. Honestly, if anybody deserves to be a big winner, it's Jerry Danley. He got in our fantasy football league, the MVP of last night's show. Also, Taino for hooking up the Raiders report with all the awesome giveaways that he did. I mean, it's absolutely positively unbelievable. But let's go to Brandon Moore. I'm going to give one. Can you write these names down for the raffle? Just so in the tab August raffle. Where are you keeping them right now? Wherever you were keeping them, just put them in that August raffle spot for me. And then we'll pick two names out of there. Let's go with the Zach Daddy. Why not? The Zach Daddy. I appreciate you calling me the GOAT. I'm a sucker for a good compliment. Let's be real. And then, you know what? I'm going to give one to Zalesbo for being an unbelievable moderator every single day here in this program. Taino's a real one. Well, Taino's already in, so Taino's already. Yeah, for those that don't know, because Taino donated a bunch of stuff, I'm going to put him in. Now, whether he or not he does it, that's up to Taino.
Is Justin Buckman in? Because he had a message earlier about how he saw someone at his work that was wearing a Raiders report shirt, and he went up to go talk to him, and they had a fun conversation. I thought that was cool.
All right, we'll put Justin Buckman in.
Justin, you're in.
Did I mention that today is Cliff Branch's birthday? I did not.
Happy
did
birthday,
not.
Cliff Branch.
So Cliff Branch is truly one of my favorite Raiders of all time, and I only say that because of like the story behind it for me with the Raiders report. So obviously, you know, can we show also some love to Cliff Branch, like a true speedster wide receiver. Really fun. I was kind of wishing, you know, Zachariah Branch would have been drafted by this team. But to me, Cliff was like one of the very first old school Raiders players that I remember watching a lot of highlights on, because there was right when, you know, Cliff was trying to get into the Hall of Fame. The family was trying to get him in, and he finally got in. And I just remember like doing my homework around that for like, because that would have been what, 2022? Was that 2022? Because that's when the Raiders played in the NFL Hall of Fame game. I believe that's the timing of it. If I'm wrong, just please let me know. But to watch his speed, to watch his ability to separate, and just, he was a weapon out there on the field. Like, guys were terrified of him. And I did not know that today was Cliff Branch's birthday, so I really appreciate the fact that you brought that up. And you probably didn't even know the Cliff Branch story, but it's also like the very first player. Again, this is like really early in Chugs' career, and you've probably heard him scream Cliff Branch randomly throughout like the years of him when he used to be the producer on this show. But I remember we were watching some highlights of him, and fans were so fired up about him, and it was like really cool to be able to see that. And I don't mean to bring this man's name up, but, you know, obviously with Ruggs, like a lot of people thought that the way that his play style could have been him. So I just, around that timing, I remember just doing a lot of homework and a lot of research around Cliff Branch, and it really made me appreciate him, you know, the football player on and off the field. And he was truly an Al Davis guy, a field stretcher, and somebody that he struck fear in defensive coordinators, because he could take one to the house at any moment. So happy birthday to Cliff Branch. Thank you so much for bringing that up, man. And, you know, I did not know that, so I like when you guys bring that type of stuff up. Again, you want to subscribe to the Raiders Report, you're going to become a better Raiders fan. You're going to become a smarter Raiders fan. And it's not just because of me. It's not just because of, Mount Raider more. It's not just because of my chat sports team here. It's because of all the loyal watchers we got showing up, showing out every single day. So today's deals here on the Raiders Report. If you want to get in my fantasy football league, every $5 super chat that you send in, I'm going to give you one raffle ticket. If you're trying to get in the duck race, it's a $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. I am going to give an updated number here of what we are at. Can you show how many prizes and everything that we gave away yesterday, if you don't mind? So just so all of y'all know, because the updated number here, I also realized I did do that deal. I said, if you guys send in a 60, I was literally like, wow, why do I have all these? Sherlock, I got you in. I see Richard Engel, you're in. Greg Roth, you're in. We got Richard Black. Shout out to Richard. By the way,
Hey.
there's a reason why Richard Black's getting in this duck race. Shout out to Richard Black, who won $1,000 yesterday
He's
on the
coming
Raiders
back.
Report. He's like,
hooked.
I want some more.
He's on a streak.
I want some more. Also,
Don't-
shout out to Jorge for 800. Dustin Campbell, 330. Travis Benson won a Mendoza jersey. Grant Corona won a Mendoza jersey. If you're not watching the Raiders Report on a game day, I think you're missing out. I think you're missing out. I got Matt Fluhey. What up, Fluhey? Getting it in. Hang on.
What in?
He's getting it in. Art thou getting it in now, Mr. Krabs?
Is it in now, Mr. Krabs?
We got Bayou Raider. No surprise. Getting it in. We got Jaime Portillo. Also. Getting it in. We got Simon TG. Getting it in. $20 Venmo. Right now for a shot to win $200. Here on the Raiders Report, we will do that 50-50 raffle at the very, very end of today's show.
Might be midnight, just like last night.
No, can't be midnight. It can't be midnight
Not
again.
again.
Not again. And then Raider Ron's like, hey, how you doing? Bayou Raider, hey, how you doing? Butters, I got to watch the game, brother. Well, watch the game. Watch me. Watch us. I mean, though I do understand sometimes people tell me they don't watch us because we are ahead of the game. So, like, I understand that. I mean, I'm also a fan from time to time, and, you know, there's times where I'm watching some of our streams, and I'm like, I try to rewind it just like 15
That
seconds.
delay.
Yep. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. We got Sherlock Raider question rolling in here. No one knows how hard Lopez and Mitch's job is. Respect, brothers. Was that from last night, or did you send that in again today?
Yeah, that was again today. That one just came in.
Sherlock, I appreciate it. I think it's just like anything. You learned how to do it, and you learn how to bounce back the next day. You learn like what your body cannot do. I know what I have to do before I go to bed. I know what I have to do in the morning. Like, honestly, the thing that I'm the most upset about, my knees are killing me, and that's because I didn't properly stretch yesterday the way that I should
You
have.
didn't stretch enough.
I didn't stretch the way that I should
All
have.
that stretching.
Well, I didn't have time. I was doing like other shit before the show, and then I didn't have time to stretch. So my knees, I feel like a 33-year-old man that's just stood for 8 hours yesterday.
My leg.
My leg, my back, and probably my crack. Sherlock, we love all Raider fans. Everyone is family, but please, no politics. This is our happy place. Thank you. I do agree with that. If we could keep politics out of the conversation. And don't get me wrong, I know that there's probably certain situations in life where certain things are needed to be said, but at the same time, I don't want to talk about that stuff. There's a certain time for it. So if you guys are talking about it today, let's not do that. Let's go to Brandon Moore. What's up, bro? Ashton Genty and Mike Washington Jr. will lead the NFL in combined rushing yards for the season. Going into the draft, I was hoping we drafted Washington. I agree with you. Washington was one of my top backs going into the draft, but I never really mocked him to the team because I didn't think he was going to be available in the 4th round. Because one of my really good buddies here at Chat Sports, his name is Trace Gerard. He's host of our Saints show. Lopez does a lot of work with him. He's from Arkansas, like the college. So honestly, it's probably one of the top teams that I watch. And I watched a lot of Mike Washington Jr. I knew that he was a good back, and not just saying it because it's the Raiders comp, but he does very much so remind me of a Darren McFadden. I actually think Mike Washington is more physical than Darren McFadden. I think McFadden might have true more breakaway speed, but I think Washington is a lot more physical than what I ever gave him credit for. But how about this question to Brandon and to all of y'all out there? How many combined rushing yards for Ashton Genty and Mike Washington Jr. this upcoming season? Because to me, the only way that this can happen is if your answer's over 2,000.
I was about to say, I was like,
Has
the
to
way
be.
that people are talking about Genty, I feel like he's due for 1,500 all-purpose.
It's got to be over.
Washington
I mean,
can
just
put up-
by. All right, so let's look up.
at least the conversation that people are having around Ashton Genty and this new look Raiders offense. 1,500 is not out of the question for Genty. It's really can Washington get that other 5?
All right, so this is interesting. I guess so. Combined rushing yards. So last year, Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson had combined 1,944 yards. James Cook, Josh Allen, 1,600. Bijan and Tyler Algier were about 1,500. So I guess if you're only looking at it running back, I guess you need to be somewhere close to a little bit more than 1,500 yards. But, like, what's crazy to me in that mindset is I actually would be kind of disappointed if Genty and Mike Washington only combined for, like, 1,500 rushing yards. Like, thinking about it in my mind, I'm surprised, like, that number is the way that it looks like with Bijan and Algier.
Are we doing rushing or all-purpose?
Rushing, right?
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Combined rushing
My bad.
yards.
I thought we were doing all-purpose.
Well, I actually thought it was going to be in that too. Like, to me, my gut reaction told me to lead the NFL running backs. My gut reaction was going to tell me, like, I thought Genty to me is going to get 1,300 and Mike Washington is probably somewhere around 500. Like, that's like the number. So I was thinking around 2,000, but I think it'd be interesting. Slurricane's going to go 1,700. The Zach Daddy's going to go 2,300. We got about 16 to 18 from Joey Mata. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I mean, somebody said 2,300. Break it down by team rushing yards per game. Can the Raiders run for 135? I hope so. Like, I want the Raiders to be top 5 in rushing this season. If they're top 5 in rushing, we're going to be a really good football team. We're going to be a really good football team. Because I think that helps out our defense. It allows our guys to pin their ears back and go get after teams. So I think, like, that's truly, like, what we need to do. We need to be an aggressive defense. Because if we just sit back, it's only one preseason game, but I worry we just don't have the talent to just sit back. Yep. All right, let's do it. James Yoder, the Raiders Report Shop has 5 different items with the rookie quarterback on it. His name's Fernando Mendoza. Put some respect on my name. Where are the sales at? Nation showing. I mean, I think Raider Nation showed plenty of love yesterday. We can talk about the Chat Sports Shop. Yeah, I mean, they showed a lot of love yesterday. I mean, our show was crazy and wild yesterday. Maybe you were already asleep. I don't know. Our show was pretty wild yesterday. But if anybody out there wants any Fernando Mendoza stuff, you can go to chatsports.com/RR shop to be able to do it. We'll put the link for you guys down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. I mean, I know this. When I woke up this morning, I was like, I got to get a Mendoza shirt on. Though, I almost put on the Weird Kubiak, but truly the only reason why I didn't do it, and it's probably lame for me to say that, I was like, Bowers and Crosby didn't play yesterday. So I was like, it's kind of lame to think of, but like that's how I thought about it. Again, my entire closet, my wife laughs at me, my entire closet is like a lot of the shirts that are here. And what's funny is this is literally the mental process I did today. I was like, nah, Max and Brock, they didn't play. My Mendoza shirt, this was one of the shirts that I wore like when I went out to Vegas, so that one was dirty. My 2026 draft class shirt I thought about wearing, but truly, I mean, the 2026 class was a little bit shaky yesterday, so I was like, the one that I wanted to wear was the Mendoza, right? Like, to me, like him running out on Allegiant Field, him like going 10 of 16, 97 yards, that touchdown, that was fun, man. That was really, really cool. This is actually also, I thought about wearing that one, but I wore that to, we went to a spot Monday when we were out in Las Vegas. My wife wanted to do a spa day at this, resort, I guess is what I'll call it. And so I wore that. That's what I wore to pickleball. I had that one on for pickleball. Well, that's what I went to.
You a pickleball guy now?
See, I don't know if I'm a pickleball guy, but it's a fun like sport to try to play. It's a lot more difficult. It's a lot more difficult, but at the same time, like the guy I played against was 74 years old, and he whooped me.
Were you playing solos or doubles?
So we were playing solo, but we were playing like only on the one side. And he played tennis for 40 years, and he played semi-professional tennis. And I mean, but what was fun to me was, and it helped me like appreciate the sport, I mean, it just goes to show that, like, this was a 74-year-old man who barely moved the entire game, and I'm running around the entire time trying to play. It was a lot of fun. I'm not going to lie. But shout out to all y'all. And again, if anybody wants to get some Raiders Report merch, go to chatsports.com/RR shop. You don't need to show it. So what we will do here on the program today, we got a few more people getting in the duck race. And again, I want to give a shout out to everybody that won something yesterday on the show. Real talk, if you can't make it to a Raiders game, I hope that you find a way to make it here to the Raiders Report. So I'm looking down below, and I see Husker Raider is getting in this. And then I also see Chadwick Howard getting it in as well. $20 Venmo to go home with $220 here on the Raiders Report. That's how we're going to do it. Obviously, whoever bangs the most in the month of August, you're going to compete for a chance to get in our fantasy football league. Today, though, every $5 super chat, this is encouraging people, to participate in the show. I want you guys to ask me questions. I want you guys to give me takes, but I also want somebody that's watching today's program to potentially get in to my fantasy football league. If you don't know what the August Bang MVP race looks like, this is what it looks like as it stands right now. Jerry Danley, big-time lead, 16 bangs in yesterday's show. Shout out to Mount Raidermore's Lord Cameron Abbott, and also greatly appreciate Steven Hansen, who has done a lot of cool stuff. Steven also donated 4 Raiders and Cardinals tickets. We gave away those to Raider Sancho, and Sancho and his family got to go watch the game yesterday, which was really cool. Also, we are going to be giving away Raiders 49ers preseason tickets probably next week.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, and they are also from Steven Hansen. So I will also, just so everybody knows, give Taino Raiders some bangs. I don't know how many I'm going to give him yet for everything that he donated to the show, but the belts that he donated were absolutely positively unbelievable.
Sick.
He's got there's a bunch of other giveaways. Hell, we even got ducks for when people win the duck race. And I got Philip Boger, Richard Black. I'm not ducking around here.
What the duck?
I'm not ducking around here. You want to know the best Raiders community on planet Earth? You're watching it. It's the Raiders Report. And honestly, I'm proud of y'all for how much you guys show up and show out for each other every single day. Let's get into the next topic here on the Raiders Report, and it's going to be my Raiders 53-man roster projection. So what we're going to end up doing is, and I get it, it's probably way too early. You don't have to actually make roster cuts until August 30th, but you know what I like to do? I like to pretend that I'm in a room with Klint Kubiak and John Spytek. I like to pretend that I have influence over what the Las Vegas Raiders could potentially do with their team. And yeah, it's probably a delusional thought, but it's how I like to operate this program, and it's fun for me to be able to do. And I hope that people that are Raiders fans out there, I bet you if you sit down today and you think about the 53 players that you want to keep on this team, it's its own little puzzle. And I try to tell Alex all the time, like, she likes to do puzzles. She likes to think. I don't like to think. But when it comes to doing that, it's like my own like Raiders Tetris of you're like trying to paste together what you think the best 53-man roster is. And that's what I'm going to try to do for all of y'all on the show today. And if the Raiders had to make their roster cuts today on August 14th, you technically have 16 days from now, 4 p.m. Eastern time. I will be live on the Raiders Report for roster cut down day. It's a fun exercise. So I'm going to work out with y'all a little bit here, and I hope that you guys exercise this assignment as well. Truly do it. I think you'll have a lot of fun figuring out a 53-man. And really, let's have a tough question before we get into the show. Give me a yes. Give me a no. It's time to make the call. Will Dante Thornton Jr. make the Raiders roster? He was drafted in the 4th round out of Tennessee last season. He's big. He's long. He's athletic. 6'5", 205 pounds. Runs a 4.35 40-yard dash. Like, on paper, there's a reason why he's been compared to, from a metric standpoint, to guys like Randy Moss, to guys like Calvin Johnson. So when you hear that name, there is the upside side of it. But the real question is Dante Thornton Jr. going to be a player that makes this Raiders roster? Give me a yes. Give me a no down below. He did not play in the preseason game. He has not really been practicing lately. He's been dealing, I believe, Kubiak said he's dealing with, a hamstring, or he's dealing with some sort of injury, and that he's hopeful he's going to be able to play. But this is the way that I like to do the 53-man roster video. This is me not trying to, throw Dante Thornton Jr. under the bus. I think it's a part of the conversation, right? Anybody can talk about the quarterbacks. Anybody can talk about the skill position guys. But can you talk about that sixth guy on your wide receiver depth chart? Can you talk about the fifth? Can you talk about the seventh? I want Raiders Report watchers too, because this is a player that he's truly on the roster bubble. And whether he makes it or not, we're going to have a conversation about it. So that's what's going to happen here. See, Fluhey says yes. The Zach Daddy says yes. Bo Mackey's going to go with a no. Ron Gray is going to go with a no. Justin Buckman says, I love pickleball. I'm like Forrest Gump. Is that good?
I think being good at ping pong is a helpful tool in pickleball. Like I would say I'm all right at ping pong, and when I have played pickleball, not bad.
I am, without a doubt, better at ping pong than I am pickleball. I play, like my dad and I, we used to play ping pong in our living room. I hope, Dad, you don't get mad at me for saying this. But our living room, it was basically it was like we had enough room in the living room for a computer, a TV, a couch, and a ping pong table. So my dad and I, we used to literally eat off our ping pong table, and then we would play ping pong in the living room, and we were literally like wall to wall.
We're eating dinner, just fucking going back and forth.
Right, so we were playing, but my family and I, we used to play all the time. And when I was at the NFL Combine, I remember, shout out to Omar Cooper Jr., he's playing tonight in the Jets preseason game. I remember when I was talking to Omar Cooper, and I was like, I'm sure you've been asked a million questions about Fernando, and he gave me a big smile, and I was just like, give me a random Fernando, like what's something that people don't know about Fernando? And he told me he might be better at ping pong than he is at football. He told me at Indiana when he said that he would play all the guys, and he would trash talk them, and there would be times where he was so good, like as a joke, he would be like, I'm going to beat you left-handed. And he would beat guys at Indiana playing left-handed, and he would, apparently he would, blank guys playing right-handed. Apparently he's, extremely good at ping pong. So we started talking about that. That's how I went down that tangent. But, I remember talking to Omar Cooper about that. That was really, really freaking cool.
For some reason, that kind of checks out for Fernando Mendoza.
If
he's going to be good at some random thing,
yep,
ping pong kind of seems like his thing.
Fernando, I don't know what it's going to take, man. You against me, charity ping pong game. Every $100 donation will donate to a charity of your choosing, and you get to welt ball me in the back. I'm in.
Oh, pain pong.
Oh, you call it pain pong?
Sting pong?
We called it welt ball.
No, I never heard that.
Welt pong. I mean, the way we used to play is if I scored on you.
Yeah, you raise a shirt, you get a free shot.
Yep. But we used to throw it.
Oh, no, we were hitting them.
See, I feel like I could throw it harder than I could hit it.
No, you get a nice hit, that thing's flying.
I could whip it. I can whip a ping pong ball. I'm in. Fernando, if you're down, man, you pick the charity. You pick the charity. You pick it. Let's go. I'm in. Feel like that's almost like the dunk tank. I mean, let's do some good. You know what I mean? Let's put some good vibes out in the world. I'm in. All right, fam, let's get into this 53-man roster projection here on the Raiders Report. 53-man roster projection here on the Raiders Report. You guys ready to rock? Y'all ready to rock? Y'all ready to rock? Bo Mackey says, Big Raz, what's going on, man? What's up, Big Raz? If you guys are wondering what the duck race is at, I believe the last name that I got in here was Chadwick Howard. 20 to win, $220. 20 to win, $220 right now here on the show. That's what we're saying. If you want to get in. If not, hey, it's all good in the hood. We're here to have a good time watching the Little League World Series, talking a little Raiders. It's Friday, and I'm excited for the weekend. I mean, I felt like today was a good day. We still got a long way to go. Y'all ready to rock? Let's get into it. 53-man roster projection coming up right now here on the Raiders Report. Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report, and today's 53-man roster projection after the Silver and Black's Week 1 preseason game to the Arizona Cardinals is presented by PrizePicks. If you don't know, use code HMA to be able to get $150 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. And if you follow me on PrizePicks, You're welcome. I hooked you up with that extra $150 in bonus lineups. Now, if you guys do not know, the Raiders' next preseason game is Thursday, August 20th against the Texans. They start joint practice on Tuesday, and NFL roster cutdown day is August 30th. The reason why I enjoy doing this 53-man roster show is, to me, it's my own version of Raiders Tetris. My wife, she loves puzzles. You don't want me in any type of puzzle game. But in my mind, a 53-man roster is my own Raider puzzle. So for you guys that are watching this at home, I hope that you get out your pen and paper. I hope that you also write down your 53-man. So the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to go from 1 all the way down to 53. The numbers that you see next to the players are going to be me counting out this 53-man roster with you. So please, if you like Tetris, here's my version of Raiders Tetris. And I will do this after every single preseason game. Let's go to the Raiders quarterback room here. And a lot of this depth chart, I believe it was built as the unofficial depth chart. I'm hoping that that's how it was updated. That's how I wanted it. And, for Kirk Cousins, Fernando Mendoza, Aiden O'Connell, those three guys, they played in the game. Jacob Clark did not. I really am kind of battling with the idea of whether or not the Raiders are going to keep two quarterbacks, Kirk Cousins, Mendoza, because maybe AOC gets moved elsewhere. But I think after his performance, I don't really see him getting traded. Like, he's just got to play significantly better. Maybe Las Vegas cuts him to try to save a little bit of money to be able to keep another player where they feel like helps him out. But in my opinion, he's too good to just cut. And whether you think he's good or not, I do think he's a top 50 quarterback. I do think that there is value in keeping AOC on this roster. And I do think if he would have been playing with some better players around him, you would have saw a better version. But let's be honest with ourselves. It's Kirk Cousins, Fernando Mendoza, and Aiden O'Connell's down here. Let's just keep it a buck. Let's go to the Raiders running back room now. You got Ashton Genty and Mike Washington Jr., who looked phenomenal. Shout out to Connor Hayward, who gave me a follow on social media, who also had himself a good game. Dylan Lalby, Roman Hemby, Dare Agumbawale, who was just recently added to the squad. And then you got fullback tight end Patrick Gerd, whose family is a proud watcher of this program. Now, I will say this. I do like Gerd's athletic ability, but I'm not going to put him on this roster. And I think my 53-man from the running back spot, it's going to surprise some people. I am so confident in what I saw Mike Washington Jr. and Ashton Genty yesterday that those two guys are going to be able to shoulder the majority of the workload for the Raiders. And the reason why I'm going to keep Dare Agumbawale over Dylan Lalby and over Roman Hemby is because I believe Dare is a better special teams back, a better special teams player than both Roman and both Dylan Lalby. On top of that, if I were to keep another back, I'd be more inclined to keep Hemby because he's the better pass protector, but Washington also showed the ability to pass protect. I think Dylan Lalby is an interesting player, but, there was a play in that game yesterday where he lost like 3 yards, and my big thing for Lalby is you just can't make mistakes. Like, you got to not make mistakes. And unfortunately, they're minor mistakes, but if I got to keep a guy that I know is a captain, a guy that I know the Raiders value on special teams, because I'm confident in Genty and Washington, I don't need Lalby out there on the field for offense. And this one hurts a little bit, and it does. Like, I've been rooting for Lalby, but at the exact same time, I got to keep Dare Agumbawale because I think he's a better special teams player. Also, Connor Hayward comes in at number 7. Let's go to the Raiders wide receiver room. And Trey Tucker, Jalen Naylor, Jack Bech, Malik Benson are without a doubt this team's top 4 wide receivers on this team. And I had to get creative here. I didn't know exactly where I was going to be able to go, and I'm going to do something that, again, might surprise some people out there. I am going to keep Derek Young. The Raiders signed him this offseason. They love him from special teams. And I'm going to keep Devin Tompkins. Devin Tompkins was also an impressive special teams player to me. I believe the Raiders are confident in their top 4 wide receivers, and then they look at Derek Young as somebody who can help on special teams, and they also look at Devin Tompkins as somebody who can help out on special teams. He had 3 returns yesterday, 91 yards, and honestly, when they put the ball in his hands, I know it was a quick pass for only 6 yards, you can tell that he's got some juice. So I'm looking at all these other receivers, and like maybe Shedrick Jackson, right? Shedrick Jackson could be another player to consider, but based on where Devin Tompkins played, Brandon Johnson is also another guy to at least keep in mind. But the name that people are going to see is this: no Dante Thornton Jr. And at the end of the day, if Thornton doesn't get out on the field, I just don't see him making this roster. Maybe the Raiders still keep him because of the upside, and there's with no doubt about it, he's got a lot of upside. But based on some of the things that I have heard, I do not know if he's going to be somebody that makes this team. So for that reason, he's not on my 53-man roster. Coming up next, we will get into the tight ends on the show. But before I do that, Shout out to Prize Picks, and shout out to all the people out there that believed in me to copy my lineup at Mitchell Renz 365 for the Raiders-Cardinals game. I will show y'all my power play, and since I am recording this video on Friday, I'll show you my flex play as well that resulted in a win. If you do not know, if you use code HMA, that link is going to be down in the comments. It's down in the description. I'm going to say it again. Code HMA to Mike Nando, Justin Buckman for showing love to Prize Picks. If you win your first $5 lineup, you're going to get $150 in lineups to play with. And I gave you guys a power play lineup. That was a dub. I also gave you a flex play that, yes, I technically did not win money on it. It was 10 to win, only $4, but I got 4 out of my 6 flex play. And I do that once in a while because if you were to do that, sure, you get $4, but you also would have got that $150 in lineups. So I did 2 lineups yesterday. I won both of my lineups. It was $15 to win $29. I made some money, but I also had a great time watching the game, and I'm telling you this right now. Get a Prize Picks lineup in. Are you watching the Geno Smith game? I know I'm live right now, and Geno hasn't played yet. I guarantee you, I'm going to get a Geno Smith lineup in tonight for that New York Jets game, and it's going to be a hate one, and it's going to be fun. But no matter what, if you're a sports fan, and if you feel like you know sports, if you're somebody that enjoys watching sports, I don't do big crazy lineups. I get a lineup in because it makes me enjoy the game a little bit more. And I'm just going to keep on saying it like that because it's the God-honest truth. Shout out to Prize Picks for hooking up Raider Nation. Use code HMA to get $150 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup over on America's #1 sports pick app where it feels good to be right, and that's Prize Picks. Let's go to the Raiders tight end room here. We got Brock Bowers, who did not play. He's going to make the team. Michael Mayer, Ian Thomas, Albert O, Chris Mira, Rick, and then Carter Runyon. So Runyon did not play. He's been banged up. Chris Myrick is really just a fullback tight end hybrid. Albert O, I was not all that impressed by, but let's be real. The 3 tight ends that the Raiders are going to keep are the 3 tight ends that are pictured here. Brock's going to be your number 1. Mayer's going to be number 2, who also had a really good game, being able to get it into the end zone. I was excited for him. And, they used Ian Thomas quite a bit as well. They're going to use 12 personnel. They're going to be a physical football team. I still want to see a little bit more out of Ian Thomas from a blocking standpoint, but really, really good, man. Overall, I thought our tight ends played well yesterday. Let's now go to the Raiders' offensive line, and this is where, again, I'm kind of battling my own demons here a little bit. I do think the Raiders, their unofficial depth chart had Caleb Rogers behind Burford, Mafi behind JPJ, though Mafi played a lot of left guard. Rogers played a lot of right guard yesterday. But for the 9 offensive linemen that I'm going to keep, it's just not going to change. Like, there is nothing that needs to change about this Raiders offensive line in terms of the 9 players you keep. Quite frankly, maybe the only debate is you're only going to keep 8 guys because Trey Zoon can play all 5 positions. Caleb Rogers should be able to be your swing guard. Charles Grant should be able to be your swing tackle. Like, to me, that's the only conversation. If that's not the conversation, this will be the 9 offensive linemen that the Las Vegas Raiders end up keeping for that 53-man roster. Let's now go to the defensive side of the football here. And, I said that Johnson was the biggest winner in my winners and losers segment. I said that Kean Sloan was one of the biggest winners in that segment. And, you know what? I'm going to stick with that. But unfortunately, I can only keep one of those players to my 53-man roster. And it was hard for me to not keep Brennan Jackson. He's been somebody that I didn't really think would be making much of an impact, and he's getting some opportunity to go out there, play outside linebacker. But to me, I look at the motor that Kean Sloan brings, and that's a guy that I want to keep on this roster. To me, Kean Sloan is like Drake Thomas. If you don't know, Drake Thomas was one of my favorite UDFAs that the Raiders had, linebacker from NC State. He had a motor. He found ways to be around the football. He might not have been the most athletic player, but he found ways to be around the ball, and I wanted the Raiders to keep him. And now the Seattle Seahawks just won a Super Bowl, and he's one of their better underappreciated linebackers in the NFL. I get that same vibe from Kean Sloan of it might not happen right away, but you invest in a player like that because you know he's a hustler. You know he's a good guy. So for Kieran Crawford, Malcolm Kuntz, Kwity Paye, Max Crosby, those are going to be the guys that I keep at my defensive end position. Let's go to defensive tackle next up here on the program. Tonka Hemingway, Adam Butler are your top 2 DTs, and then it's Benito Jones, Thomas Booker, Jonah Laolu, J.J. Pegues. And that's how this team is going to do it. Really, the only spot that I thought was a little bit of a coin flip was truly J.J. Pegues, who was drafted in the 6th round out of Ole Miss last year. You're going to notice something, though. You're going to go, well, wait a minute, Mitch. what happened to the guy that the Raiders drafted in the 7th round, 229 also out of NC State? That's Brandon Cleveland. I do not believe Brandon Cleveland is going to make this team. The Raiders like what they have in Benito Jones, from my understanding. He's been getting a lot more work with the ones. I think what's going to happen with Cleveland, he's going to end up on the Raiders practice squad, and they're going to try to develop him there a little bit. He's a block. They like his anchor. He's a good hard worker from what I understand as well, but I just don't see him making this Raiders roster. Before we go to the linebacker position, I am going to switch it up here a little bit. I want to give a shout out to everybody that is a part of our Noti gang and everybody that's a part of our comment section. Like, when I go down in the comments and I'm looking to see what people are saying, it's always really, really cool to have people show us and show love. Like, you also get people that are like, it's time to cut Darian Porter. That's Overreaction Friday at its finest, but thank you so much for participating down below. We got a comment down here. I think it's the C. This one I greatly, greatly appreciate. But, like, overall, I like when people go in the comments. Give me your opinion. I see it a lot more than what you think. Quite frankly, the number one way that you're going to be able to communicate with me and with Raider Nation and this community is by going down in the comments section and having a conversation about it. Let's now go to the Raiders linebacker depth chart, and we still got to switch this. So Nakobe Dean needs to play Mike. Quay Walker needs to be outside linebacker. Though, I mean, Nakobe is the green dot. So Quay, though, did play, I think, a little bit more as the outside linebacker. Neither here nor there. Overall, I know that the Raiders are going to be using, I think, a lot of 2 linebacker sets. And the reason why, I've typically been keeping 5 linebackers on my depth charts. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to keep 4. And the reason why I'm going to keep 4 is because the Raiders also value Jeremy Chinn's ability to play linebacker. And yes, Jeremy Chinn is a safety, but he's also a linebacker that you could put here on this list. For Shea Gunalobi, special teams guy. But for Cody Lindenberg, Quay Walker, Nakobe Dean, and Jeremy Chinn, I believe the Raiders are confident enough in those 4 players that I just mentioned to be the linebackers that this roster keeps, and they really like Shea Gunalobi's ability to play a little special teams. Let's now go to the cornerback position here in our Raiders 53-man roster projection presented by Prize Picks. Eric Stokes, Taron Johnson, Darian Porter were the starters in this game. DeCamerion Richardson was excused from the Arizona Cardinals preseason game by the coach. Kubiak said on Friday that he was excused for the birth of his child, so there was obviously a very good excuse there. But for the 53-man, the guys that I'm going to end up keeping here are probably not much of a surprise outside of Greedy Vance. I have not kept Greedy on any of my 53-mans. I believe he's been on the roster bubble, but with the amount of nickel, the 10 tackles that he had, the snaps, the tenacity, they like him a lot to be that backup to Taron Johnson, and maybe he gets, 150 snaps or something this upcoming season. I look at Greedy, and I wonder, man, did the Raiders give up on Amik Robertson a little bit too early? Because what Greedy has is that tenaciousness. That guy that's like, I don't care if I'm one of the smaller guys out there. You're going to know I'm out there on the field. You're going to hear me. I'm a spark plug. I like Greedy Vance a lot, and I like the spark energy that he's bringing. But this obviously means no DeCamerion Richardson. I am hopeful that we get to see DeCamerion in the preseason Week 2 game. What's true is I actually had some people tell me when I was out there this past weekend, it's sad to say this, but predominantly when I've talked about Richardson, it probably hasn't been in the best light, right? It's been cut candidate, trade candidate. It's been a report that I heard last year there were some, just maturity concerns. But I heard some from real source, like good sources, that there are people that are excited about Richardson's athletic ability, and there are people that are excited about what he can do for special teams. And I know we look at him as a corner, but the Raiders really like him and his upside from a special teams perspective. So the fact that it was excused, that's a lot more noted for me. When I built this show, I did not know that, and that's just me being 100% honest with you. But DeCamerion, I'm still going to keep him off the roster because at this point, I'm going to keep all those other names over Richardson. Let's now go to the safety position here for this 53-man roster. We got Jeremy Chinn, Isaiah Paul-Mal continuously is starting for this team. And then you got Dalton Johnson, Devin Lafayette, Traden Stukes, and Tristan McCullum. I've typically been keeping 5 safeties on this team, but I'm only going to keep 4. And the reason why I'm going to keep 4 is because also Taron Johnson's ability to play safety, and then the Raiders are also, I think, hopeful in their rotation in that secondary at corner that once in a while other guys are going to be able to, mix and match in that defense. But Stooks, to me, has got to start being the free safety of the starter. I know that the Raiders want to make Isaiah Paul-Mal work, but to me, you got to make sure Traden Stooks is back there, or else I am concerned about our ability to slow down passing games in the year 2026. But let's round out this show, and we got special teams here, and it's not pretty from a special team standpoint. A.J. Cole, you're going to make this roster. Alex Ward, Tyler Dzansky, I do think that this one is still very much up in the air. Truthfully, I'd have to go back and watch the snaps to tell you who was better and who was worse. It's not me lying to you, so I'm just going to say Alex Ward is probably going to be the long snapper that I do think ends up making this squad. But to me, Matt Gay is the kicker. There is no debate, and it sucks to say it because it's probably one of the number one battles that I wanted Special K to be able to win. But to me, the only way that he can make this roster right now is if he is the International Pathway Program player. He is eligible for this. The Raiders can keep him on the roster. He doesn't count against it, the 91st man. But I guess my question would be, I still would want you to add, I think, another kicker to this competition. I don't really think it makes a lot of sense for you to have 3 kickers out of 91 players, but at the same time, could I replace Matt Gay's name with Daniel Carlson? If you like that idea, hit that like button. Before I hop on out of here, y'all, who did I leave off of the 53-man roster? I want to know down below. I know I didn't get everybody's name in there. I know that there's probably going to be a few fans that are like, oh, you left this guy. If you're watching right now, I want to know what you got to say. I want to know what your opinion is around this football team because I do really, really appreciate each and every one of y'all's opinion. But I think, honestly, I feel really confident about this 53-man that I was able to put together. If I really, truly had to sit back and think about an extra name to maybe add in, maybe it is a Dante Thornton to Camryn Richardson. Maybe it is a Dylan Lowry to be able to keep an extra running back there. Maybe it's a Brandon Johnson. Maybe it's a Tristan McCullum. Maybe it's you are keeping an extra whatever. There's Shedrick Jackson. Lot of different names to be able to throw around. But you know what? I look at that 53-man that I just did, and I'm confident to say if the roster cuts were today, I think that that's what this team would end up looking like. All right, fam. So what we got going on here is we have one more segment to be able to do here on the Raiders Report, and it's going to be a mailbag. I did see another super chat come in while we were doing that video from BMore53. Appreciate you, BMore53. Answer from earlier, 1,700 from Genty, Washington, 500. I mean, dude, I mean, if that happens, the Raiders are without a doubt a playoff team. Like, if you're telling me Ashton Genty goes for 1,700 rushing yards and Mike Washington Jr. goes for 500, I think the other thing that you're screaming at me is that we are without a doubt a top 10 defense. Because the only way we're going to be able to run the football that much is if our defense is in the lead and we are grounded and pounded. That's my opinion. It's kind of an interesting one, though. Very, very interesting. Shout out to you, Brandon. Is the food out there? Are you hungry?
I'm chilling. Are you good?
Yeah, I'm okay right now. I didn't know if the food or anything was out there.
Yeah,
If you're okay, then I think we're good.
Lopez got dinner. Woo!
Lopez.
Guess who don't have to cook tonight?
Lopez just got some great news. Big Raz. What up, Big Raz? I see you down there. I see all y'all rocking with me. We do have another mailbag to be able to get into here in just a moment. We went live about we're coming up, on 2 hours being live?
Yep. Hour 55 right now.
All right, so we're coming up on about 2 hours here of being live. And the way that today's show is truly going to go is I am going to stay live as long as the questions keep coming in, as long as, you guys are asking me #Raiders Super Chat. I will be live no matter what for at least 1 more hour, okay? If you want me to stay live a little bit longer than that, we're going to get into the happy hour portion of our show, but we do have to outscore the Klint Kubiak Raiders offense. And if we do, we'll stay live a little bit longer. And if the show keeps on rolling, it could be Friday happy hour. And who knows? We could be still here for Geno Smith up against the New York Jets. I don't know how certain shows go. I have no idea. But sometimes I also know we had a crazy night last night. And I know that we had a crazy night last night. And I appreciate everyone that shows up, shows out every single day here on the Raiders Report. So I'm going to do a deal. Is that okay with all y'all? Nah? I'm going to do a deal with all y'all. I am actually just going to go grab a quick bite to eat. Okay? While I'm gone, here's my deal. We're going to do $50 bangs. Bangs are going to be half off 2 o'clock while I'm gone. And if we get to 15, we will stay live until 4 o'clock, and we will do that happy hour portion of today's live show. Now, again, I don't know how much happy of the hour it's going to be, but I personally, I think that I can do it. I also want to be able to show all y'all that I appreciate everything that you guys do. Justin says, damn right, Mitch, go get yourself some food. I just know that I haven't eaten yet today, and I got that little knot in my stomach that's just, I think it's going to give me life. And I just need a little bit of food. But I mean, like, when you wake up that next day and you've had a bender, you know what I'm talking about. So we're going to do 2 o'clock here. You got Lopez, and while Lopez is here, somebody said, stop crying, Mitch. I mean, I got beat up yesterday.
Raider
man.
Jeremy, is that Chugs' burner?
I know, it's probably. I mean, dude, I got beat up yesterday. Y'all kicked the shit out of me, and I mean that in the most loving and respectful way possible. I do. I respect how much you guys kicked the shit out of me yesterday. But I'll probably be like, give me like 5-10 minutes. I'm going to go grab some food. I'll be right back. We'll do the 2 o'clock, but ask Lopez, fire away. I don't know. Ask him Raiders questions. Ask him any NBA stuff. I will be right
Little
back.
League World Series is on right here.
Dude,
I have a great view.
I love the Little League World Series, in all honesty.
Did you see the Oklahoma scandal?
No.
There was a kid on Oklahoma that was like 14.
Danny Almonte.
Yep, and they beat Louisiana in like the semifinals of their thing, or like to move on to the championship game in their regional, and Louisiana got bumped to the losers bracket. And the next day it came out that they found out. So Louisiana and Texas end up playing like a de facto winner-go-home championship game. And then Texas ended up winning. But then it also came out that this happened also in Oklahoma softball. That they had a kid that was too old. Tulsa, Oklahoma.
I mean, that's correct. I mean,
I don't know how you get that far without finding out.
I wonder if it's one of those things like, I mean, there's no way we're going to make it all the way to the Williamsport. Let's just see how it goes. I mean, what's really sad about that is the coaches and parents should be ashamed of themselves. Because I've been in Little League Baseball. I grew up in Central PA. I know how big Williamsport is. I've played on the first Little League field. I've played at this stadium. We won states when I was 10 years old. We crushed teams, and we had a lot of publicity at that time. Look up 2003, Pennsylvania 10-year-old state champ Mitchell Renz. True story. No, but but growing up, like where I'm from, Little League Baseball is a really big deal. So, but I also know, I mean, you're cheating kids out of the opportunity to play. And, for me, growing up and a kid in that area,
Oh, dude, if I was one of those
I
legal
dreamed
kids,
about playing, in the Little League World Series. I never made it to Little League World Series, but I did get to play on that field.
If I was one of the legal kids, that sounds weird, like that terminology, but I would be very upset. It'd be like, damn, I got this far and
Got hope.
we were 2-0, had a good shot at getting to Williamsport.
I mean, we always say, my dad and my uncle, they were our Little League head coaches, and when I was 10, we outscored teams in 13 games. I'll never forget it. I mean, we were dominant. It's crazy that I still remember this 23 years from now, but we outscored teams 113-11. In the Pennsylvania State Championship game, we won 11-1, and we 10-run the team in 4 innings. Now, my cousin Anthony was a prodigy. My buddy Cody was a prodigy. These are kids that were throwing, Anthony and Cody at 10 years old were throwing, mid-70s.
So they were just mowing through.
I was our
10-year-olds.
third pitcher. I was our shortstop. I was our leadoff guy. But, those two, I mean, in those 13 games, I bet you Anthony and Cody probably combined for well over 30 home runs. My cousin Anthony is also, true story, the reason why the Little League World Series moved their fences back from 200 feet to 220. Danville, Pennsylvania Little League is the only field at that time in that area that had a fence at 220. My family member was in the Little League time, in the office, because we were so much involved at the time. And they said that they moved the fences back because of the amount of home runs that
we have this juiced up kid in Pennsylvania that we have to slow down.
Well, my cousin, he broke the home run record in T-ball. He hit 18. The old record was 4. And then I'm not even making this up. I played on the very first Little League field. I guess what I'm saying is Little League baseball means a lot to me, and you could probably tell in my voice how much it means to me. But no, it was my uncle still has our stats from our 12-year-old year in Little League, and my cousin Anthony
hit 950.
It was I believe the exact number was 970. It was
I was overshooting at 950. My bad.
We won three state championships. No, but when I was a 12-year-old, we made it really, really far. We were getting ready to go states, and we went up against the kid that I'm going to tell you right now, I'm convinced was a lot older than what he should have been. And he mowed us down. And I still think about, if we beat that guy, are we able to go to the Little League World Series? Because I'll tell you this, I think that kid was a lot older. And they were the home team. Some real shady shit going down in Greencastle when I was 12, but neither here nor there. But that would be devastating, man. And the parents, it's on the parents. It's on the parents. It's on the coaches.
Parents and coaching. That
Quite frankly, I think if your Little League program does some shit like that, you are expelled from being able to participate in the Little League World Series.
We were having this conversation.
You shouldn't be allowed to participate.
Outside the office the other day. Do you remember the ones from Illinois that were recruiting outside of their district?
Was that the Michigan team?
No, the Chicago team.
Maybe it was Chicago.
It was Chicago. Do you think that's better than having a kid that's older? I think recruiting out of your district, obviously,
I think
against the rules, it sucks, but I'd rather at least be playing
a 12-year-old.
Kids my age, not a juiced up 14-year-old.
Oh, truly, that age, people might not realize it, but I remember how much better I was as a 14-year-old compared to a 12-year-old.
That jump is insane.
I mean, it's completely different. It's completely different. But let me go grab some food. When I get back here, the tuna. You guys know the tuna clock deal. It's going to really determine how much later we stay on this show. And believe me, we went wild last night. We had an unbelievable show. We had an unbelievable program. But at the end of the day, I'm always going to give you a deal. If you don't want to hit it, believe me, I'm not going to be upset about it. It tells me that, hey, I get to go home on a Friday a little bit earlier than I thought, and I get to get my weekend going. And you know what? I get to sit on the couch with my wife, with Chuck, and I am without a doubt watching Geno Smith tonight up against the New York Jets. But I do have a mailbag to still do on the program. We're going to still give away a little bit of money today in the Duck Race $20 Venmo. It's right now, the last time that I checked, $220. I'm just going to go grab some food. I just need a quick little bite to eat. And when I get back, Raiders mailbag. And if you don't know the deal, Tuna Clock is starting in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Lopez.
Okay, half off bangs while Mitch is gone. Before we get into the motivational speech that I have planned, some breaking NFL news. The Falcons defensive end James Pierce Jr. is being suspended 8 regular season games for violating the NFL's personal conduct policy. Pierce was arrested in February in Florida after a domestic violence dispute involving his girlfriend, Rakia Jackson, who plays for the Los Angeles Sparks. So James Pierce Jr. will be missing a good chunk of the 2026 season. So the Atlanta Falcons taking a big hit. Okay, guys. Now we need to talk. This scoreboard. We are at halftime right now. Imagine we are at halftime. It's week 1. We're the Las Vegas Raiders. We didn't have a great start. We're down 14 points. We're down 14 points. We need to see this scoreboard go up. We are running $50 bangs while Mitch is gone. If we do end up beating the Raiders in last night's game, we will be live for happy hour and possibly a Geno Smith hate watch later on when the Bucks take on the Jets at 6 p.m. We will be hating on Geno Smith the entirety of his time in that game. So, I know last night was an emotional win for us. We had a big night last night. We were hanging out. We had a great time. It was a long night. I didn't get home till 2:30, but we're back in here today. We have to perform again. This is our job. We need to put points on the board. We are down 14 at halftime. That's my motivational speech that I think we need it to have. I think everybody's in now. 15 minutes for the rest of your lives. Right here. Right now while Mitch is gone. Mitch had to step away and eat. Let's make him pay. Let's make him maybe do some drinking later. Maybe do some drinking when he gets back. I don't know. $50 bangs. You know it. We will update the scoreboard live if someone does bang while Mitch is gone. Also, we got a couple super chats that we can go through right now. If anybody wants to talk about anything, feel free. Throw some comments in there. Remember to get your hashtag Raiders in. Hashtag Raiders or super chat for our mailbag that we will be doing once Mitch gets back. Shout out to Sherlock Raider for the $10 super chat saying, Angela wants to go back to Dallas. Would Alex be able to join us for dinner at Terry Black's? We buying. It's not a party without Lopez. I like to party. Thanks for the invite. I'm sure Mitch would love that. We will pop that up for him when he gets back. Okay, guys. We got news. We are getting points on the board. We are not getting shut out today. There is no shutout anymore. We got out of halftime. We drove the ball down the field, and we put the ball in the end zone. Where the fuck is that way? There it is. Jesus. I'm struggling right now. I'm tired. It's been a long day, but it's all right. We're not quitting because we are now on the board. Shout out to Sherlock Raider. He is the first one to bang. He got us those first 2 points. Now, who's going to get us the next couple? How are we going to get to 14? We need to catch the Klint Kubiak Raiders. I know we all want to root for them in the regular season, but yesterday was not the greatest showing. Is this the team that we want to lose to? The Raiders' defense is holding us to 2 points right now. Not going to lie, the Raiders' defense sucked last night. I'll say it. I don't think they'll suck in the regular season, but they sucked last night. There was not much to hold your hat on. But right now, the Raiders' defense of last night is holding us to 2 points. We're getting points on the board now, fellas. The scoreboard is getting close. We are fighting our way back. We dug ourselves a hole. We put ourselves in the hole, but guess what? We're back. We're getting there. We smell blood in the water now. Mitch is going to have so many beers when he comes back. It's probably a good thing that he ran to go eat. Oh, dude, that kid hit a fucking missile to the wall. Jesus. Okay. I was up 4-2 or 4-3 now. Wisconsin just scored. Okay, but the scoreboard, we're now at 5. We're down 9 points right now. We are doing it. We are making a comeback in the third quarter, and I love this for us. Also, if you're sending in super chats and you got a question, throw it in because we need questions for the mailbag. So if you got a talking point, feel free to send a question in your super chat. Get your hashtag Raiders in. Like Steven, who said hashtag Raiders. Do you believe Crosby is playing against the Texans? I don't know. That hasn't come out yet. If I had to guess, though, if starters are going to play, it's going to be in the second preseason game. If y'all remember when the preseason used to be 4 games, that third game used to be when the starters would play the most. So teams are starting to adapt to the second game being the starters play the most now with only 3 preseason games. So if Max Crosby is going to play in a preseason game, I think best chance would be this Thursday against the Houston Texans. We will be live, by the way. So come hang out. Come join us. We are chipping away. We were down by 14. We're down by 8 now. Lead's almost cut in half. Let's show some love to the people that are helping us make this comeback. Let's see if these super chats have loaded in. Shout out to Sherlock. He got the first 2 up there. He got the first 4 points up there for us. Sherlock got this offense going, and then everybody else responded. Sherlock set the example, and then we got guys like Steven Hansen coming in. Oh, wait, I definitely mathed wrong. Hold up. 2, 4, 6, 7. Okay. Lopez can't math. F. Lopez. Lopez cannot math. We're not down by 8. We're down by 6. We cut the lead in half and a little bit more because guess who just is here? The offense is showing up. We got CJ Raider here putting points on the board. Rebel Montana saying, you see the NBA Christmas schedule? Yes. I am seated for Christmas. Lakers, 76ers, 4 o'clock Central Time. Lopez will be seated. We are having a good time with the Lopez household. Richard Black. He got points on the board saying he's in. We got Philip Bogert saying Raiders. And don't worry, worry. We're going to bang when Mitch comes back. Don't you worry. I just want to show love to everybody that's getting points on the board right now. Craig Nelson saying, I'm a sucker for a good deal. Plus, got to get a Lopez bang. Much respect for everything you do, brother. Well, I wasn't going to wait till Mitch comes back, but if you want me to bang, I can bang. This one's coming in from Craig Nelson Jr. Bang! I hope they did it justice. I will say, I think that was my 95%. Little gas from last night. What I will do, since y'all are showing up, I'm going to try and get that last 5%. I got an energy drink in my bag. We'll pop that open right now. Let's try and get back to 100%. Because y'all deserve it. Y'all are putting points on the board right now. We're having a good time. We're at 9. We are catching up. The Raiders' defense is actually starting. We are now playing the Raiders' defense. This is looking like the Raiders' defense last night. Points are going on the board fast. Ooh. Nothing hits like caffeine. Again, get your hashtag Raiders in for the mailbag. Get your hashtag Raiders in for the mailbag. We can play a little game. Grade the Raiders' performance against the Cardinals last night. A, B, C, D, or F. I think offense, B+. I think the offense looked really good when Kirk Cousins was out there. They were moving the ball really efficiently. Fernando Mendoza, aside from the first drive, really couldn't complain about it. I think the first drive was more just rookie jitters. First time taking NFL snaps, and I don't want to say he looked scared. I just think he had to adjust to the moment, and he did. Eventually leading the team down for a touchdown. Aiden O'Connell got in really late in the game. He didn't, when he was in there, the offense didn't look great. I'm not going to say it was all on AOC. It was third and fourth string guys. It's bound to happen. Defense, I can't give anything above the D. The defense, first string, second string, third string, none of them looked great last night. I know some people didn't play, like your Max Crosby's. We had the Cameron Richardson out. And those guys are going to obviously help elevate the defense. But the defense that was on the field last night was not great. It's not great. Steven saying, must we hit the panic button if we lose the last 2 preseason games? No. Remember when Josh McDaniels went 4-0 in the preseason? How'd that season go? Everyone wants to win the preseason. It's nice to get a win, but if you go 0-3, if you go 3-0 in the preseason, it's not the end of the world. So I wouldn't hold my hat on a bad preseason record. Now, if you're seeing the same bad tendencies in the preseason that you see in the regular season, then that's a problem. It's like, why are we not fixing the kinks? The preseason is to get the kinks out, work those kinks out, and if you still have those kinks come week 1, then there's some issues. Then there's some worry. Ooh, my bad, Jersey Boy. I also forgot to pop up your super chat. I know you didn't say anything about it, but I saw the super chat come in and just definitely forgot to pop it up. Overreaction Friday. Raiders will have a top 10 run defense, but a bottom 5 pass defense. I hope they prove me wrong. That's a fun talking point that we are definitely going to talk about during the mailbag. We're going to pop that question up later on. Get Mitch's take on it. I think that is a fun overreaction. Especially with the secondary just didn't look great last night. I think the run defense will look better once you add Max Crosby on that line. But the secondary wasn't great. Obviously, a good pass rush could help that. But there was no corner I saw last night that I was like, you're going to be a massive difference maker come the regular season. I do want to see how Jermod McCoy does develop, though. Because, again, he hasn't played football in 2 years. And he looked like that last night. There was rust there. And it wasn't just off-season rust. It was 2 years' worth of off-season rust. Once he works that out, I think he's going to be able to get back to that top 10 draft pick that he would have been warranted if he didn't have all the injury issues. Obviously, he also needs to stay healthy. But I don't want to predict injuries. I don't want to hope down anybody. I hope everybody stays healthy. So I'm going to project that Jermod McCoy stays healthy. And if he does, I think he will develop into a great corner. I think he will be very good on this Raiders defense if he is just able to stay healthy and develop. DL Carter saying Tokyo Toe look more like Bonsai Bunyan. That's funny. I'm hoping he turns things around. I want him to turn things around. Coming into camp, I wanted him to be the Raiders kicker. I wanted a bunch of teams to pick him up. I thought he was one of the better kickers back in college last year when he was at Hawaii. I was surprised he went undrafted. And I thought he was going to be one of those guys that comes in, sets a name for himself in the preseason, and makes the regular season roster. I thought that was going to be what happens. It's not looking like that right now. The one thing he does have in his favor is that he does have that international pathway player clause, I guess if we want to call it, clause protection, to where if the Raiders do decide to keep him, he doesn't take up a roster spot. So I do think that is something to monitor. I think that is something that will help him in possibly making this roster. Ooh, more NFL rookie news, or NFL news. Saints rookie wide receiver Jordan Tyson has a right hamstring issue and will miss time, according to Saints coach Kellen Moore. And that was the one problem coming out of college for Jordan Tyson. So that's fun. That's fun. Jersey Boy saying, I want to see Mike Washington run more behind the starting line. Mike Washington looked good last night. He looked very good last night. I think when you do put him behind that starting line with a Tyler Linderbaum, with Spencer Burford and all those guys, he's got a potential to be a very good RB2 in this league. I think him and Ashton Jeanty could be a really good 1-2 punch. Okay, Mitch, you're back. Do you want to see the updated scoreboard?
Let's do it. Let's see where we're at.
We had a little halftime talk, and
A little what?
a little halftime talk.
A little halftime talk?
Yeah, it was a little halftime talk.
What does that mean?
We had to get the guys going. We had to get the soldiers
The
going.
offense going?
The offense was not looking good in the first half.
That's okay.
You know what? Soldiers rallied.
Got a long game to go.
It was an emotional game last night.
I mean,
We're
I'll tell you,
slow.
we're going to get there. I'm confident. We're going to get there. Also, Saints rookie wide receiver Jordan Tyson.
Yeah, we hit it.
And we'll miss some time.
Yeah, I don't like sometime.
All right, how about this? I'm going to ask you as a Saints fan. Is Jordan Tyson going to play in Week 3 game against the Raiders?
God, I hope so.
Because that is August 14th.
Dude, he was looking so good in camp.
But that is Jordan Tyson.
I know, that was the one question mark coming out of college.
Steven Hudson!
Bang!
Back. What up, Hanson? All right, let's get caught up on all the other super chats before I go to the big old bang from Mr. Hanson. We got Jersey Boy, Overreaction Friday. Raiders will have a top 10 run defense, but a bottom 5 pass defense. Hope they prove me wrong. I hope that they prove you wrong as well, and I'm kind of curious why you think top 10 run defense, but a bottom 5 pass defense. Are you just saying, I mean, to me, I want our defensive ends to be able to generate more pressure, and I think with Max Crosby out there, that's going to be realistic, but I actually do not think, also random trade, the Cleveland Cavaliers are trading Dennis Schroeder and cash to the Charlotte Hornets. No,
The Cavs had to pay the Hornets to take Dennis Schroeder.
JOD, go live. See, I don't even like, I would say explain that trade to me in football terms, but I don't even know if it matters.
Kansai Matazawa from last night getting traded to, who do you go to, the Hornets? I guess the Panthers are very similar to the Hornets.
All right.
To the Hornets, and you gave him $100,000 to take them to.
All right.
That's about it.
That's about it.
That's it.
Fair enough. I do think that the Raiders are going to be a much better defense, but I don't think that you can be a top 10 run defense and I think a bottom 5 pass defense. I don't know if that's even possible. Maybe it is. I don't know. Sherlock!
Defy the odds.
Angela wants to go to Dallas. Would Alex join us for dinner? Terry Blacks, we buyin'. It's not a party without Lopez.
I like the party.
I mean, would she do it? Probably. Here's the thing. I don't know when. I have no idea what her schedule at all looks like. I also know it's got to be timing. Like during football season, it is kind of difficult for me to get time to just do some of the extra stuff. And I mean it because I spend a lot of my extra time with all of y'all, so I try to give a lot of that to Alex. It just comes down to the timing of everything, Sherlock. So if it ends up working out, I mean, Alex has gone out with dinner with me a few times before with some fans. It's really a matter of like what she's feeling like doing that day. So there's a chance, bro. But I appreciate that very much. So Sherlock, bang! All right, man. I thought I heard Sherlock from the back. I literally just came back into the office, and I thought I heard you hooting and hollering. So Sherlock Raider made this a little bit closer. Steven Hansen. Mitch, wash your dinner down with a beer. It was only lunch. I did not. The only way I'm having a beer, I'm telling you right now, is if we surpass the Raiders in points scored and we do a happy hour for an hour.
We're getting close.
I mean, we're a lot closer now than I thought that we were going to be.
I told you it was that halftime speech that we had.
It's the halftime motivational speech.
We sat him down. I told him 15 minutes for the rest of their lives right now.
Lopez was looking for every inch that you guys could give him.
Give me all the inches, Wade.
Right? Give me all the inches. Shout out to CJ, Jack Kenna, Steven Hansen for showing up and showing out every single day on this show. Richard Black, I am in. Bang for Mr. Black, who also won $1,000 yesterday on the Raiders Report.
I just got an interesting Slack from one of our Cincinnati guys that is visiting. AP slacked me saying, if you need a boot lackey, I got you. Sounds like he just signed up for a boot.
Send him in. Send him in then.
How's this? Deal I'm thinking.
If we pass.
I'm about to say, we're at 10 right now. We need 4 more bangs.
If we pass, I will start off happy hour with AP doing a boot. And I will officially get mine cracked open as well. I mean, I'm telling you right now, you guys can see the fear in my eyes. I was so bad when I woke up this morning. I don't know what they're called. I don't know if there's any women that watch this show. To the 250 people that are here, shout out to all of y'all. And I still have a Raiders Report mailbag to be able to get to here in just a moment.
Stupid. Did I miscount again? Jesus
Hansen said we should be at 11. All right.
I might have miscounted.
All right, we'll go. We're at 11.
We're at 11.
That's fine.
Don't tell Lopez to do math, please.
That's fine. We're there. But I don't know what they are, but I see my wife, she always puts them underneath her eyes. They look
I
like
know what you're talking about. They look like little teardrops.
They look like little teardrops. I think they look like little like oranges, like orange slices. Like if you were to slice an orange really thin, just lay it on right here. Mm-hmm. And she always tells me my eyes look like I'm always getting ready to fall asleep. And I know I look like I'm tired. And sadly, it's because I am tired a lot. We work a lot here. But she was like, you have to wear these on your walk to work. So I feel like I had a few people like looking at me because it looked like I got rocked in the face because the ones I had were like black.
Yeah, but you don't look puffy. You look good.
I appreciate that.
You're doing great.
I feel puffy.
I feel puffy. I may not look it, but I feel puffy.
I feel puffy. Somebody probably said pause. What up, Philip Bogert? Mr. Bogert. Bang! Come on, baby. Let's get it going. We got the real Lee. We got Jonah. If you haven't already hit that like button, please make sure you do so. We just crossed 300 likes. I'm going to give away 3 raffle tickets for a shot to get in my fantasy football league. Craig Nelson, what's going on, Craig? Bang! I'm a sucker for a good deal. Plus, got to get a Lopez bang. Much respect for everything that you do, brother. Much respect to Craig Nelson. Craig, I can't wait to go up against you in fantasy football.
That was the one that you heard me banging, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, is that the one?
Yeah.
Hey, Craig, real talk. Mitch has a great makeup artist. I do wear makeup. If you've seen me in public, I do wear makeup. Why? I've learned that there's actually some makeup that's decent for your skin. I sweat a lot, so I'm always like super greasy up here. If I didn't have makeup on, I would look all of 33 years old. I promise you that.
Would you say that you get moist?
I do get moist.
I do get very moist, actually.
And if there's one word that makes me think of Fernando Mendoza's performance, it's without a doubt moist. It's without a doubt moist. Oh, man. Craig Nelson. Craig, if you had the number 1 overall pick in our fantasy football league, who would you take? Number 1 overall pick in our fantasy football league, Craig, who would you take? Maybe you would take Steven Hansen! Bang! What's the Raiders' biggest weakness heading into the 2026 season? And is it significant enough to keep them out of the playoffs? I say secondary, and yes. There's probably a few things that are severe enough to keep us out of the playoffs.
Where do we start?
I hope that secondary is the only reason why we don't make the playoffs, right? I mean, I would say secondary, special teams. I would say wide receiver depth, defensive line depth, offensive line depth. I mean, how about depth? I feel like I keep saying that. Like, to me, the Raiders' first team unit and some of those guys in that second team unit were significantly better than that third and that fourth unit. And that is to be expected. But if you want to know, I think a lot of times teams that make the playoffs are teams that can stay healthy, teams that do show and provide that, hey, we can beat you with a lot of different players, and if we lose a guy here and there, we can still do that. And, you know, the 49ers, I hate to bring them up, but that's been a team that's dealt with a lot of injuries, and I think good coaches can still win games even when guys go down. So I will say I am worried about special teams. I am no doubt worried about our secondary, but I also think our depth does scare me a little bit based on what I saw yesterday. And if we're talking playoffs, let's shoot for the moon. So I do. I think our depth could be one of those things that could keep us out. Quarterback play could also be one too. Anything is possible when you follow the Raiders.
Kicking play, you never know. Miss a couple game-winning field goals.
I mean, really, you think about Matt Gay comes out. Let's say Matt Gay gets 5 opportunities this season to win a football game. I think he makes 3 out of those 5. Maybe I'm wrong for saying that, but I think based on what I've seen this offseason, if it's 40 and beyond, I think it's like 3 for 5. Please prove me wrong. But I think for a Raiders team, they're going to be so damn close. Like, the way the Raiders make the playoffs, if that needs to be 5 for 5. And I mean, that's just the truth. Like, we have to win those games for us to make the playoffs. The only way the Raiders are going to make the playoffs is if we play that A-plus game and there's a team like the Rams, the Bills, the Patriots, they give us a C-plus game and we capitalize. It's not. I think that's the God-honest truth.
I think they need to go watch Madden Raiders film. Study them. They were very successful this year.
Matt Gay was phenomenal.
Matt Gay was great.
Matt Gay was phenomenal in the Madden season.
I'm not sure if he missed, actually.
He did once. I know he did once.
I don't remember.
I actually think he missed against the Chiefs. And I only say that because they typically, I don't think the opponents that we played ever missed. I only remember us missing.
I feel like I saw more...
Somebody go back and check Raiders, Chiefs, Madden Sim. I believe Matt Gay misses a field goal in that game.
I feel like I saw more blocked punts / field goals than missed field goals in Madden.
Yes. Honestly, without a doubt.
There was more blocked.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. All right, man. So we are right now 14-11. I want to outscore the Raiders. They only put up 14 against the Arizona Cardinals. And if we do, we will go live for an extra hour here on Raiders Report Friday Happy Hour. If we do not get the 4 extra bangs, the show will end at, let's say, 3 o'clock. So in about 30 minutes from now, though, I'm going to be real. It's probably going to be like 45-ish because we still got to do a mailbag. Still got to do a mailbag. Still got to be able to do a duck race here. But if anybody out there wants to get in our Raiders Report mailbag, please use hashtag Raiders Super Chat. We'll probably use some of the Super Chats that we've already got with some questions on the program today. But as soon as this is done, I will give you guys an updated number. You're good. I will give you an updated number on where the duck race is currently at. Also, like random NFL news. The NFL is suspended. Wow, Schefter. All right, I know that I'm bad at reading, but Schefter tweeted, NFL is suspended Commanders defensive end Dorrance Armstrong 1 game for violating the personnel conduct policy. Armstrong is coming off a torn ACL that he suffered in Week 7 last season. I told the one Cincinnati guy, if I need to do a boot, I can get one, man. Dude, I'll tell you this. All right, so Lopez, he had to step out real quick. I think he might also just be going to grab a quick little bite to eat before we do this mailbag, maybe use the restroom. I could actually not quite hear what he said. He just said he'll be right back. So no matter what, If you don't know what a mailbag is here, it's going to be just a open questionnaire. I want you guys to think of this as if, you were kind of like asking questions to Clint. If you were to ask questions to John, like ask questions to this team of what are your genuine questions after that Raiders preseason game against the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going to try to do my best to answer those questions, but to me, that's how a mailbag's got to go. That's how a mailbag's got to go. Hashtag Raiders. Dude, I don't know what's going on. Are these just guys getting suspended left and right? Titans DB Nazee Johnson just got suspended for 6 games. Okay, NFL is spending its Friday afternoon sending out a slew of punishments to begin the season. Possible to likely there will be more before the start of the season. I mean, that's interesting. I don't think any Raiders players, obviously you don't know, but we just have seen now like 3 suspensions just come in. And I followed the NFL for a long time. I don't really ever remember it being like suspension. It kind of looks like right now the NFL is like, all right, we got to do some catching up to do. You, everyone's getting suspended. Alex, I know, it's kind of wild. It's going to be wild. All right, let me get some names here in this duck race before there's any other suspensions. Still, knock on wood, no suspensions yet for the Raiders, but there is right now a report out now. Even Jeremy Fowler said more suspensions will be coming. So apparently there's a bunch of NFL suspensions that keep rolling in. James Pierce, there was just one for the Commanders. Now there was one for the Titans. And then it was just reported that apparently there is going to be more suspensions rolling out.
Did you see that list that came out the other day of
No.
cases they were still looking over? I think the biggest name on it was Puka for some of his off-season stories that he was involved in.
Well, did you see the story where apparently he ran into a glass door at the guy who owns Fanatics' party?
I didn't hear that.
That's new. Apparently, he just ran into a glass wall, and
just for
look
pleasure?
Look up Puka Nacua Fanatics. It's like a brand new story, which it's kind of annoying because he's gonna get paid, and I know he's gonna get paid, but I wonder if he's gonna get put into a George Pickens box a little bit, where it's there's no doubt about that he's talented, no doubt about it, but you're like, what the hell are you prove to me that you deserve a big time contract.
Yeah.
If George Pickens wasn't a knucklehead, he's making $35 million a year.
I think that's why he's been on
good behavior.
Good behavior by his terms.
I think it was an eye opener of wow, I must really be a head case, and I must really be a handful that people don't want me on their team. Because George Pickens at $27 million on a franchise tag. If you take away
That's a steal.
If you take away him being a problem off the field, it is a good value. Can't tell me that it's not, quite frankly. All right, so right now our duck race is a $20 Venmo. You guys would have a shot to win $250 here on the Raiders Report as it stands right now. Sherlock, when does the Madden movie come out on Netflix? I don't actually know. I'm actually super nervous, though, about it.
Has it come out yet in theaters? Or is it only going
It's not going to come out in theaters.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So I believe it was when I was with a few Raiders fans who told me, I believe it was during the Super Bowl, that they were allowed to watch the movie as because they were fans, they got to watch it first.
Mm-hmm.
The review that they gave me was not a great review, and I'm not a movie fan. When I say I'm not a movie fan, I don't watch a lot of movies. I watch them because of my wife. But in my experience, when a movie doesn't hit theaters, it's because it's typically not a good movie from what I understand from people that watch a lot of movies. So I'm a little bit nervous. There's no doubt about it. I'm going to watch it.
I think if you're not a movie snob,
I basically heard it's
a little bit more.
And I agree. I also think it might be a tough movie for Raider fans because I know Raider fans are it's John Madden, it's Al Davis, it's 2 icons, and the way that you think about those icons, it's going to be hard for the acting, I think, to live up to it. I think the other part of the equation is, based on people that I've spoke to that have seen the movie, I'm going to compare it to Draft Day, where Draft Day is a good football movie, but there's a lot of things that happen in Draft Day where you're like,
That's never
The
gonna
Cleveland Browns aren't trading all those picks to select a linebacker. Like that type of shit isn't going to happen. Bills defensive tackle Fedarian Mathis was suspended 3 games for violating the NFL substance abuse policy. They're rolling in. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of like a little bit worried or concerned that we might get something around the Raiders. Like, I know Charles Snowden was one of the reasons why they moved on from him. That was going to be well known. But I wonder for Raider fans out there when they look at that and they go, like, again, trading 3 first-round draft picks in the movie Draft Day for a linebacker. A football fan looks at that and is like, that's ridiculous.
It's a fun movie if you turn your brain off and just don't think about the realism.
And that's kind of the way that I heard about it. Like, I think people, I actually think like your wife's, like your significant others, people that maybe don't follow the Raiders all that closely will really enjoy the movie. And I think just people, again, Raider fans and that have followed this team and Al and John as closely as they have, they think of them up here, right? And I don't blame Raider fans. Like, if somebody had to play my grandfather and my dad in a movie, I bet you I probably wouldn't think that they did as good of a job as what they should have done. What up, Craig Nelson? Depends on your scoring system, but the chalk answer is Gibbs at number 1 for me. Okay. See, I will say our scoring in our fantasy league will be a little bit different. I am flirting with the idea, and we will probably do it. The flex can be a starting quarterback.
Oh, so you're doing super flex.
16 team. That's why it's going to be tough. Like, to me, if I do a fantasy football league, I want quarterbacks to be really important. And I also like to do challenging leagues that not everybody can prep for, where let's just throw it into the mix. We'll have a little bit of fun, but I love quarterback flex. And that flex can be running back, wide receiver, tight end, or QB. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It's probably going to be that.
I've never been in a league like that. In this situation, do you go quarterback first round? Are they going off the board sooner? Or are you still going?
They definitely go sooner, but it really can depend on the true scoring format.
Okay.
It can. Like, for me, in that scoring format, I do think Josh Allen at least becomes a part of the equation because he is a difference maker, but also at the same time, I think Gibbs is an outstanding pick at number 1. Outstanding pick. I think Justin Jefferson also could be a sneaky guy. Not number 1 overall, but I think he's going to really surprise people this year. What up, Sherlock? I'd ask Klint Kubiak what's his plan to tighten up on the D. All right, well, let's do it then. Let's do it. Let's get into this mailbag here on the Raiders Report. I'm ready to go. Darth said, did we get Carlson yet? Darth, it's a great question to use a hashtag Raiders for. How about that? Give me a Daniel Carlson question. Because I think that we should talk about Daniel Carlson. I talked about Daniel a little bit on the video that I dropped earlier today on the program. I did. I just saw. Yep, I mean, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 suspensions have just come out in the NFL in the last, 20 minutes. 30 minutes. Wild, man. All right, y'all. Here we go. Coming up on the Raiders Report, we're going to get into a Raiders Report mailbag after the Raiders game against the Cardinals. Think about this as the questions that you're going to ask the coaches, the questions that you would want to ask players after that performance. As soon as this mailbag is done, I will give you guys an updated number on where we stand right now for the Duck Race. And if we pass the Raiders in points, we'll stay live for an extra hour longer. If we do not pass the Raiders in points, then we will wrap up today's show, and we get to go home just a little bit early today. But know this, I'm getting my Prize Picks lineup in for that Geno Smith football game, and y'all better too. Here we go. Starting in, can you also use the Sherlock one in the mailbag? Is that possible? The one, no, literally this one. Yeah. It doesn't have to be right off the top, but okay. Cool. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right. 3, 2. Actually, let me get a quick sip. Quick sip. All right. Here we go. I'm ready to rock. 3, 2, 1. Let's get it going. Raider Nation, it's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report, and coming up on our Raiders mailbag, our show is presented by Prize Picks. Use code HMA to get $150 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineups over at Prize Picks, and I'll show you the 2 lineups that I was able to win in that Thursday game, even though the silver and black fell 27-14. So what you're going to see in this mailbag today, it is a friendly reminder that I am recording this while I'm live on August 14th. And think of this as the questions that fans are wanting to know from Klint Kubiak, John Spytek, the players out there. These are the biggest news. These are the biggest topics around Raider Nation that they're thinking about after that first preseason game. And if you want to see yourself on a future mailbag, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you pull up to our live shows. Let's go to my guy, C. Gabe Go. Just got home from Vegas. Don't know if you've talked about it yet. Who's a player you want to see more from next game? Can I say Daniel Carlson? No, I want to see more from Kansai Matsuzawa if he's still around. I actually want to see more from Matt Gay in just the sense of, I wish on that 4th and 21 that Aiden O'Connell threw the ball into the end zone, and I get they were probably looking at it as a real-life football situation where you're down 27-14, got to go for 6. But I actually really wish the Raiders would have trotted out Matt Gay in that situation. I know he made his 2 extra points, but I am a nervous Raiders fan right now when I talk about this kicking situation. So you know what? I don't really think it's much of a kicking situation. The fact that we're talking about our kickers is a problem because at the end of the day, if you're not talking about your kicking situation, that's a good thing. If you're talking about your kicking situation, that's not a good thing. Let's go to the next one coming in here from Sherlock. I would ask Klint Kubiak, what's the plan to tighten up on the defense? Max Crosby is going to help, and I do think if we really look at how they play defense, they did. They played a very, very vanilla style of defense, and I really think when Rob Leonard lets his guys pin his ears back, gets a lot of pressure, that's just going to result in a younger secondary not having to cover guys for as long. As bad as the secondary was, it's cause for concern. We also got to be able to say, they were having to cover guys for a long time. Now, they also credit to Arizona got the ball out quickly, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Gardner Minshew and Jacoby Brissett did look really good. That Cardinals offense has looked good in back-to-back games, but I'm not going to overreact. I think just when they played the defense that I think that they're going to actually play, it's going to look a lot better. Let's go to Auburn Raider. It's time to sign Daniel Carlson. I'm guessing you're an Auburn guy. You got Kieron Crawford, who I actually like some of the things I saw in Kieron Crawford, honestly. I thought he had some good bursts. I thought he showed a lot of good hustle. But when it comes to Carlson, it's funny to me how many people are saying, we got to go get Daniel. We got to go get Daniel. And I just think it should be a part of the conversation. I would love if the Raiders were to pick up the phone and they give Daniel a conversation. And I say that because really at this point on August 14th or whenever this video ends up going out, I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at who's legitimately a kicker that we could bring in right now that could be better than our current guy that has a connection with our team. The answer is Daniel Carlson. And I'm going to ask all the Raider fans out there, real talk, would you rather have Daniel Carlson or would you rather have Matt Gay or Special K be the Raiders starting kicker this season? Because, we had another question about, keeping us out of the playoffs, which actually, let's go to it right now. Steven Hansen, shout out to Steven Hansen. Bang! What's the biggest weakness? What's something that could keep the Raiders out of the playoffs? The Raiders are going to be in a lot of close games. We all agree with that, right? To me, we're going to be in 4, 5, 6+ one-score games that legitimately could come down to 3 or something points. A Raiders team that makes the playoffs, we capitalize in special teams, kind of like the year when we made it to the playoffs in 2021 when Daniel Carlson was elite. We made all those game-winning field goals. That's what this Raiders need teams. We need a kicker that we can rely on. We need a kicker that we know that we're going to be able to have faith in because that, to me, allows Klint Kubiak offense to be a ground and pound. This defense to play the way that it's going to play. The fact that we're talking about the kicker as much, I think, goes to show how concerned I am right now about this kicking situation because I was at practice on Tuesday. It was bad. Matt Gay wasn't good, and Special K, unfortunately, has been a lot worse. Let's go to the next one rolling in here on the Raiders Report. But you know what? I'm being told that we got more Raiders questions coming up here in just a moment. But a huge shout out to today's sponsor, PrizePicks, America's #1 sports pick app out there. And if you followed me on PrizePicks, you're welcome. You got an extra $150 in lineups from the Raiders game up against the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I will show all of y'all both of the lineups that I did in that game, and I can show you the difference between a power play and a flex play. For all y'all that are watching the show live on Friday, if you don't know what a flex play is, it's something that I personally always look for on a Friday. So a Flex Friday is every Friday, users can opt in to a Flex Friday from the rewards tab and apply protected play to one Flex Play lineup. If the lineup wins, it payouts normally. If the lineup loses, Prize Picks refunds the entry as bonus lineups, allowing users to run it back without risking additional funds. It's a simply weekly promotion that rewards users for coming back each Friday. So what I tried to show a new audience, and again, like not everybody always knows what we're doing on Prize Picks and that I do watch parties every single week, but what I tried to show people is, hey, at the end of the day, I'm trying to get you that $150 in bonus lineup. So obviously I felt really good about a power play, 3 to win 25. You would have got $150 in lineups. The flex play, obviously you get 6 players, right? It's more difficult than getting 3. So when I did a flex play here, yes, I technically lost $6 on this one, but it resulted in a win, which would have got you $150 in lineups. If you're going to watch Raiders games this season here on the Raiders Sport, download the Prize Picks app. Make sure that you use code HMA. And if you win that first $5 lineup, you're going to be able to get $150 in lineups to be able to play with. I also see my guy Raider Sancho down below. Sancho, we gave away, courtesy of Steven Hansen, 4 Raiders Cardinals tickets, and he got to go with his family, and he just said it was a blast. Steven Hansen, shout out to you for helping somebody who's a part of this Raiders Report program and being able to have his family having an excellent, excellent time. We got an unbelievable community here, man. Mendoza Maniac, give me your honest thoughts on Kirk against Arizona. And my honest thoughts were Kirk Cousins looked like the quarterback that I want Kirk Cousins to be as the Raiders starting quarterback. I mean, he was, 5 of 6 yesterday, 5 of 6, 50 yards. He had a touchdown. I mean, that first drive, I mean, they didn't really miss a beat. And that was a drive without Brock Bowers. And I know how much Kirk Cousins is going to rely on the tight end position. But overall, I thought Kirk made the right reads. It kind of seemed like almost like a too good to be true type of drive. They went right down the field, and, Klint took him off. I think he liked what he saw very early on, but Kirk was good with Genty and both Mike Washington in the backfield. He was good with Jack Bech. I mean, like they used a multitude of different guys, and they didn't have Brock Bowers out there. I will say this. I would give Kirk Cousins an A grade based on the performance that he had yesterday. It was a good performance by Kirk. Okay, let's do it. Don't say moist. You're not allowed to say moist. Describe Kirk Cousins' play against the Arizona Cardinals in one word. That's all I want to see. A one-word reaction to describe. And I know I'm wearing a Mendoza shirt. There's a lot of conversations around Fernando Mendoza. But Klint Kubiak also said at that presser, it's Kirk's job to lose. So my one word, starter. And I think Kirk Cousins looked like a starting quarterback that was familiar in a Klint Kubiak offense. He looked like a starter that knew exactly what it was about to be presented to him. He made the right reads. He made the right checks. I think that he did a lot of the right things. And also, I know he's not a mobile guy, and I know he doesn't have the strongest arm, but there was a few times where I did think Kirk did a good job manipulating the pocket. The offensive line gave him time, and I think that Kirk did a good job, being able to deliver the football in a precise spot. They converted first downs. I am going to say Kirk Cousins looked like the Raiders starter. Why? Because it's his job to lose right now, and I do hope Fernando Mendoza steals it, because if Fernando Mendoza is better than the Kirk Cousins I saw yesterday, Mendoza's going to be a real one. Speaking of real one, Steven Hansen. Bang! I'm afraid to even say that name. Coach Renziak, what do you see tonight that needs to be cleaned up before the regular season, and which of the younger guys need to step up to contribute when the games count? I saw tonight an offense that I thought we looked like a unit that I was proud of. We challenged the wide receivers a lot, and a lot of our younger guys were able to make the plays. Love what I saw from Michael Mayer, Mike Washington Jr., and I do believe in this offense. From our defensive perspective, we're still trying to see with what we got. I think we threw some guys into just sink and swim mentalities, but you know what? Here on the Raiders defense, I want guys that don't blink even when situations get really tough. That's what Rob Leonard's going to be able to want. In terms of which younger guys need to step up to contribute when the games count, I need to see Jermon McCoy. I want to see Hezekiah Massis. Zeke, are you watching? Those are players that I want to see a lot more, but it's because I believe in those two young guys. Steven Stockgotten, what up, man? after this game, is Jack Bech save our wide receiver? I'll say this. I think Jack Bech earned that ability to say, hey, man, not so fast, sweetheart. And I did. I said earlier in this week, I said earlier this week that it's Malik Benson's job, wide receiver 3. And I'm proud of Jack Bech because Jack showed everybody why, if there were a reason to draft him in round 2, the reason why you do that, holy crap, walk-off in the Little League World Series. Iowa's going, baby. Unbelievable over Wisconsin. Sorry, shout out to Davenport, Iowa. Let me know where you're watching from. Give me your area code. But like Jack Bech showed, he's got sure hands, was reliable in the red zone. They put him on the outside as an X, first down on third down. They put him in the slot, sliding touchdown, and then that beautiful freaking block that he had up against to spring open, to help spring open Mike Washington Jr. going. Like that run is everything that you should love in Jack Bech, and I'm very, very proud of the game that he had. Let's go to Michael Miller. Why is no one talking about the elephant in the room? Our nose tackles were horrible yesterday. No penetration, no stopping the run, no pushing the pocket. We need to go get Vita Vea. The truth is, the excuse that I'm going to give you is Max Crosby wasn't out there on the field, and the way that the Raiders were playing, like, they need to have, if it's going to be Tonka, Adam Butler, and then Kwity Paye, like, when you add Max Crosby into that mix, he's going to help take a double team, and that's going to free up somebody else. Like, the way that I think adding Max Crosby to that defense, it's just going to make such a difference on that team overall. Do I think that there's not room for concern? There is. Do I still want the Raiders to go out and add Vita Vea? I absolutely do. And I think once in a while, coaching staffs, not that they need a reality check, but once in a while it's like, and I don't blame people for believing in their guys, and I like a coaching staff that believes in their guys, but I also like a coaching staff that can look themselves in the mirror and go, you know what? I realize what I'm doing here. I realize that maybe this isn't exactly the unit that we need moving into the football season. So just keep that in mind. But I think that this is a position that I still feel better about. I want to see what they look like week 2 against Houston when Crosby is out there on the field, because I do really think Max Crosby is just going to open it up for everybody. And we don't have any, great defensive starting teams. We just got a bunch of twos. So, what Brock Bowers' impact will be for the receivers is what Max Crosby's impact, I think, is going to be for some of those other defensive tackles out there. We got more mailbag questions coming up here in just a moment on the Raiders Report. But you might notice that I'm live after a Raiders game day. And if you don't know, I will be live after every single Raiders game day. Why? Because when I wake up post-game, whether it's a win, whether it's a loss, and I hope I wake up a lot more wins this upcoming season, I want to talk to all of y'all. I not too often when I get done doing a game, do I fall asleep right away. I'll sit there in my bed, and I'm writing notes down. I wake up the next morning, and Alex is like, who are you texting? I'm like, I'm just writing notes down. I think about this stuff constantly. Why? Because I'm excited to be able to talk to it about with all y'all. So after a Raiders game, win, lose, or tie, if you want to have a conversation, good or bad, but an honest conversation, I hope that you pull up to the Raiders Report, because we will go live every single time after a Raiders game day. Let's go to, I think, one of my burner accounts here, apparently, which apparently everybody has burner accounts and I don't. Lopez has burner accounts. Cooper's got burner accounts. Do you have a burner account? I don't have one. Maybe I got to make one. Mitch, will AOC get traded after his game against the Cardinals? No. Who's going to trade for him? At this point, the only way Aiden O'Connell, I really think actually the only way Aiden O'Connell gets traded is if there is a significant injury to a team's potential starter. If Drake May went down, I think the New England Patriots would potentially make a trade for Aiden O'Connell. I'm trying to think of another team. If the Rams maybe lost, I don't know, Matthew Stafford, and they got to put out Stetson Bennett, or they got to put out, Jesus Christ, could they just Ty Simpson? Maybe they go AOC. I have no idea. Truthfully, I do not see any of that trade happening. Maybe Will Levis demands his way out of Tennessee, and then Aiden O'Connell's got to go down there and be a backup to Cam Ward. I believe in Aiden, but the other part of the equation is teams aren't dumb. Teams know the Raiders have more invested in Fernando Mendoza and Kirk Cousins, and out of the 3 quarterbacks, AOC was without a doubt the worst one of the group. So why is the team going to trade for $3.7 million? Like, honestly, maybe Aiden O'Connell's the Dennis Schroeder trade, where they send him to Carolina to the Hornets, and then you also got to pay some of that salary so he takes it on. Like, to me, it would be, are you willing to give up $3.7 million or, like, take some of that on for some extra draft capital? I personally don't think that that's a smart investment of money, but, here nor there. What up, Jersey boy? Overreaction Friday. All right, what about if Baker Mayfield says, F it, I'm not playing? I already said he's going to play. Never mind. Overreaction Friday. Raiders will have a top 10 run defense, but a bottom 5 pass defense. Hope that they prove me wrong. I hope that they prove you wrong, too. I hope that the Raiders, I think that their pass defense will be better. I really, really think it's the analogy I keep saying on this live show. When I really go back and I think about how that game in my mind went, and I'll go back and I'll watch the film on it, I really think it reminds me of, like, thinking about a parent just throwing their kid in the pool, and it's like, hey, you got floaties on. It's a preseason game. You're not going to totally drown because it's a preseason game, but, like, I need you to get some confidence, throw you in the deep end a little bit. You can swim. It's going to be okay. It's a preseason game. That's kind of how I felt it went with Darian Porter, how I felt it went with Hezekiah Massis, Dramod McCoy. They put those guys a little bit in those situations where they wanted to see somebody shine. And I think it also got hit with a little bit of reality of they didn't shine all that much. But I do. I think that our defense will be better. I think it will be better. Also, speaking of always making me feel better, I appreciate each and every one of y'all that are always a part of the Noti Gang, of people that are a part of this awesome community. And I saw some of these. Somebody was like, sorry if this tone's off, but somebody was calling me out for saying that he had like a little bit of happy feet. And maybe I explained myself from time to time. I was really only saying that I thought there's one throw early on in that drive where Mendoza kind of drifts back, and you can just see the feet. They're pitter-pattering a little bit, and he kind of jumps in the air and he throws it out of bounds. To me, that's what I meant by he was, I forget exactly what I used, but I think he was a little bit of happy feet. It was only that throw. Fernando bounced back right away. And even though this is a comment that I don't 100% agree with, I appreciate that you left it. Why? It tells me that you care. And it tells me that you appreciate what I say, and it tells me that you also want people that watch the show to know the truth. You will become a better and smarter Raiders fan because this community knows what they're talking about. I see it every single day. What up, Madden? Madden Kubiak, what a name. Who is a free agent we should sign after that preseason game? Daniel Carlson. In all honesty, it's bad that that's where my mind is instantly going. I'll say Daniel Carlson. What about Marshawn Lattimore? Marshawn Lattimore is a name that I brought up, and to me, he's got Klint Kubiak connections. He's got connections to Joe Woods, 2+ years there. Joe Woods is our defensive backs coach. He's a veteran, so maybe we add a little bit of veteran leadership into that room. Kyle Van Noy is somebody that I like. If you're not going to trade for Vita Vea, maybe you make a trade for somebody along the lines of a Daquan Jones. Can we sign my guy Jonathan Hankins so he can retire a Raider for a day? About that. What up, Jacob Souter? You're next up here on the Raiders Report. Might be overreacted from last night, but I'm calling it now. Jim Schwartz, defensive coordinator in 2027. I am a big fan of Jim Schwartz. I know he's kind of taken away a year away from football right now. I'm just going to say, as much as I love Schwartz, I hope that you're wrong. And I hope that you're wrong because I do know Rob Leonard is a very well-respected coach in the National Football League, and he's been a well-respected coach in the Football League for many, many years, right? Like, the way that you can prove it, and it's always the way that you can prove it, is the best of the best coaches in the league, they get asked to do the Senior Bowl. They get asked to do the East-West Shrine game. They get asked to do that because the owners, head coaches, also want the best coaches to know what to scout and have proper evaluations of these players also when they're out there at those games. Rob Leonard gets asked to do it every single year. So, like, I know Rob is a damn good coach, but I hope that you're wrong, and I hope that Rob Leonard's defense does surprise us. And I hope that we don't get surprised the way I was yesterday because I did not know what to expect from the defense. I expected a lot more out of that defense, though. I'll tell you that. Let's go to PT. Do you plan to see Max Crosby out there for the preseason? If not, I'll say it like this. I'm going to give you about 3.999999 just win babies. Max plays next week. Max wanted to play this week, and essentially, from my understanding of everything, was the Raiders essentially said, Again, I'm not saying I was told this by any means, but the Raiders' actions told me yesterday that Brock Bowers and Max Crosby are the two most important players to the offense and to the defense, and it wasn't worth even risking it. Max wanted to play. I don't know if Brock wanted to play, but I also know that Max Crosby, and I know how the last season ended. I'm not trying to speak for 98. I obviously speak to people close to him, but Max is also, he's fully bought into the Raiders, and I'm happy that they said to him, hey, man, we're just going to let you rest. Max is bought into the plan, but he's going to play next week. Truly, the only way I think he doesn't play is if he suffers a setback, and that would be more of a, oh, shit, is he going to be ready for week 1 conversation. But I think even Brock's going to play. I think all the guys are going to play next week, and I'm excited to be able to see it. So, y'all, if you no, that's obviously not going to work. No. I left that in there. But, hey, man, that was our Raiders Report mailbag. Again, I've been live for about 3 hours today after we were live last night for, shoot, man, I don't know, 8+ hours or something. We had 33,000 people pull up to the Raiders Report watch party. Think about it. There's 65,000 people that show up to Allegiant Stadium. We had double the amount. And if you don't know already, can you show the prizes that we gave away? Real talk. If you can't make it to a Raiders game at Allegiant Stadium, I hope that you pull up here to the Raiders Report. We gave away yesterday tons of money in our duck race. We gave $1,000 to Richard Black, $800 to Jorge. Dustin won $330. Also, congratulations to Grant Corona. And congratulations to Travis Benson on also getting a Mendoza jersey. If I sound hungover, if I sound like I was screaming, I was screaming because I was so excited for Raiders football. And I promise you, if you can't go to a Raiders game, the number one spot you better be on a game day is right here on the Raiders Report. All right, y'all. We are about to wrap up today's program. We are back to the full $100 bangs. I just want all of y'all to know that. That was a deal that we did. And we have to run a duck race. I'm going to go through the remainder of these super chats. But if you want me to go live for an extra hour, we need 3 bangs in order to do it. Let's go to Sancho. Shout out to Steven Hansen. Thank you so much for the tickets. Mitch, I sent pictures on IG. All right, hang on a second here. Sancho, are you sure you sent them to me? Oh, yeah, you did.
Did you send them to Mitch's burner by any chance?
Bro.
Shout out to Steven Hansen one more time for helping us with that ticket giveaway that we did for yesterday's game. And also stay tuned because I'm hearing that we might be giving away some tickets to the 49ers Raiders preseason game.
We have 4 tickets. Can you just turn those into photos for me? I'll tell you what, man. I love this photo of you because obviously I've gotten to meet you before. It's the most Sancho photo, dude. It's the most Sancho photo. Also, Chuck was just a pup back then. That's wild. Wild. I'm going to show you guys the photo here in a moment of Sancho and his family. They're at the game. And again, the tickets that you're going to see are courtesy of Steven Hansen. If you don't think that we got the best community on planet here, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe he send them to Mitch 180 from DJ Scrappy. Oh, man. I'll tell you what. The number 180 and I aren't friends, and there's an inside joke. I low-key did something kind of embarrassing. When I say kind of, super embarrassing last night. Well, Brett said that I didn't turn the key. I needed to turn it an extra 180. So, yep. Also, Pennsylvania right now up 3-1 over Delaware in the Little League World Series. I root for Pennsylvania, obviously, in the Mid-Atlantic. Though I'm wondering where they're from. I know a lot of the Pennsylvania teams. Oh, Mike Washington reminds me of Darren McFadden. All right, how about this? The number one, I've heard Mike Washington reminds me of Darren McFadden. Can I get another Raiders rookie that reminds you of a former Raiders player? Like, if you were to ask me, Mitch, who's like a rookie that reminds you of a former Raiders player, I think the number one answer most Raider fans would go with is Mike Washington Jr., Darren McFadden. Give me another one. Is there one for Trey Zune? Is there one for Kieran Crawford? Is there one for Traden Stukes? What about for Fernando Mendoza? The answer to the Fernando is a no. Unfortunately, there is not. We've never had that. Jermod McCoy, Dalton Johnson, Malik Benson, Brandon Cleveland, Hezekiah Massis. Some interesting names in there. Completely different receiver. Malik Benson than Hunter Renfrow from a production standpoint, where people were just early on like, I don't care what anybody says. Hunter Renfrow's getting open. I don't care what anybody says. Malik Benson's getting open. Malik Benson, Denarius Moore. I'll tell you what, Denarius Moore is a hell of a name. I respect that. I see thoughts on McCoy. Jermod McCoy struggled, but I keep saying this over and over. Jermod McCoy looked like a corner who hasn't played in any football action since 2024, and he hasn't. He's coming off an injury, so you're telling me he hasn't played in a year and a half, and the first time he gets out there on the field, I don't care if it's just the Cardinals, it's still NFL action. I mean, if you haven't done anything for outside of aggressive macerator, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't do anything for 18 months, it's going to be tough to hop back up on that bike and do it again. I know it's going to be tough. So the photo that I'm about to show all y'all is, so again, Steven Hansen donated 4 tickets to the Raiders Report last week, and we gave away 4 tickets, and the people that ended up winning it are, shout out to Raiders Sancho. They sent me a photo of them and their family watching the game. So I've had the opportunity to meet Sancho and his daughter Michaela before. It's many, many years ago. Chuck was just a pup. My wife and I, we went out for lunch. It's got to be, what, 5 years ago? It's got to be 4 or 5 years ago. And, oh, man, that's super cool. I mean, I know I just sent you the photos, but got to go to your very, very first game. Like, Steven, like, you guys might not ever remember the 27-14 score. I guarantee you, man, you're going to remember that your entire life. I still remember my first Mets game. I talk about it all the time. Mike Piazza hit a homer. Sammy Sosa hit a home run. I don't even know how old I was. It was 2-1 Mets. But here were the tickets. So just so all y'all know, can I get some Steven Hansons down below? It's the definition of being a real one. It's the definition of showing up and showing out. So this is what the seats look like, and we are going to give away another 4 tickets for Raiders 49ers preseason game at this exact same location. The Raiders Sancho, to you and your family, thank you so much for sending me those photos. I think that they're really cool, and you know, I think at the end of the day, man, photos, that's you don't have to send me anything. And the fact that you did it, you thought of me, you thought of Raiders Report, you thought of Hansen, really, really cool, dude. Shout out to Steven Hansen. Absolutely love it. Craig Nelson Jr., do you think Mendoza is under center by the time you go to Week 10 versus Seattle?
It'd be kind of sick if it was his first start.
What's crazy is the conversations that I've had with people, I think that honestly that is the most likely game, okay? I think it's the most likely game, and here's why I'm going to say it's the most likely game. There's 2 big reasons why. The first reason is I don't know if the Raiders want to play Fernando Mendoza in a game for the first time not at home. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I don't really think they want him to play at all this season. I think they want Kirk Cousins to play, but the only way that I think that you get to that point is it's right around the NFL trade deadline. You probably didn't win some games. Cousins isn't looking good. So you think about those first 9 games. Week 1, at home against Miami. Week 2, on the road against the Chargers. Week 3, on the road against the New Orleans Saints. Week 4, against the Kansas City Chiefs, right? I think a lot of people are thinking, all right, well, maybe the Raiders could start him against Kansas City. That means we're 0-3. Then he starts against Kansas City. But I am still hopeful that we can beat Miami, that we can beat the New Orleans Saints. Like, those are teams that I want to be able to win. So then it's on the road against New England. Week 6 against Buffalo. Are you going to start Mendoza's first game against Buffalo? Maybe. Then you got Week 7 at home against the Rams. That's a tough game. Then you got Week 8 on the road against the Jets. That's a Geno game. Then you got week 9 on the road against the 49ers. Week 10 against Seattle. The other reason why I think Vegas is, Vegas is a who you know type of city.
Yeah.
And Vegas knows certain things. The more and less on Fernando Mendoza.
9.5. Last I saw on Prize Picks.
Last time I saw was 9.5. And there's been a lot of 9.5. I've seen 12.5.
I wonder if they've updated it.
I've seen 12.5. I have seen 12.5. But the 12.5 number is also interesting to me because the Raiders obviously have that bye week 13.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think like Vegas, that's Vegas's thought process as well. Do I hope that he's under center? Yeah. But also, no. Because if he's not under center, that means we're still playing well.
We got movement on Prize Picks. It was at 9.5. It's dropped to 8.5. We do have movement.
Movement on it, 8.5 now, more or less. How many games will Fernando Mendoza start this year? More or less? More or less than 8.5. Interesting. Rebel, NFL versus college football. I saw the shorts, and Marsh missed out. I mean, I think I also missed out. I don't think I was
think
here.
they cut me, too.
Oh,
I
really?
gave an answer. I don't think I was in it.
I mean, I know I definitely wasn't in it. What do you guys like more, NFL or college football? Also, Rebel, I love that photo. That's a photo of my wife and I. We got to meet up with Rebel, Montana, and I know like I couldn't meet up with the amount of people that I wanted to be able to meet up with, but I did really try it as best as what I thought I could to go down and meet as many people as I humanly possibly could. But also, where I was sitting, I remember I looked and I saw Rebel. Rebel's looking at me, and I was like, we're like, hey, like we gotta meet up. And what's also really cool, Reb, is I feel like your dad is a lot more comfortable around me now than like the first time we met. Which I believe the first time I met your dad was, it's definitely out in Vegas. I don't know if it was at the Ahern when I did like an event out there, but I felt like he came up to me with so much confidence, and he came up to me as if we've been friends for the longest time. So I think that's also a really cool thing. Like, obviously, when you guys go up to my wife and you guys go up to my dad, show them nothing but love and respect. That means a lot to me. But, like, I expect Rebel, I expect you guys to come up and say hi to me. When your dad came up and said hi to me and as excited as he was, that was really, really cool, dude. So that was a cool moment for me. Let me know down below, NFL or college football, what are you more excited for?
I have a theory for this. I think.
What was the actual question? What's better?
What do you prefer?
What do I prefer?
I think people in the South, they like college football a little bit more.
I think it depends.
I think it's bigger in the South. I think the Northerners, they like college football. I think they're more NFL, though. That has been my theory that I've kind of noticed. The South likes college football a lot more.
I don't disagree with that. I do think like people that have been to like a LSU atmosphere, a whiteout at Penn State, honestly, and I'm not saying this just because I'm a Raider fan, the closest thing I've ever seen to a college experience was being in Oakland, was being in the Black Hole. That was the most college-y game day experience. And for that reason, I do think like being able to go like in person to a college game like that, I do. I think it would be a lot more entertaining than going to an NFL game. With that being said, if you told me the Raiders playoff game, like that atmosphere, I'll pick that atmosphere every day of the week. But in terms of like me sitting down and watching a game, if I'm at home, I would much rather watch an NFL game than college football because of the product. But I don't get a chance to watch a lot of NFL games. I usually watch a ton of college football.
What's the craziest college environment you've ever been in? Or
I mean, honestly, the craziest college football environment I ever was. I've said it a few times. I don't know if you've ever been here. So this would have been Penn State was ranked 7th in the country. Illinois was ranked 27th was ranked 21st in the country. The quarterback was Juice Williams. The running back was Rashard Mendenhall for Illinois.
this is a long time ago.
Very long time ago. And it was a Saturday night whiteout in Happy Valley. Not many people, it made me a Penn State fan. Like, the reason why I'm a Raider fan is because when I went to that first game in Oakland and I had that experience, I felt like that 7th grader back in that Happy Valley experience. So I was, like, right around 7th grade when that game went down. But, like, that experience, that game was wild. The number one game I'm kicking myself in the ass for, my buddy, he's got season tickets back home. and he invited me last year to a Penn State game. And all the groomsmen of my wedding went to that game, and it was Penn State, Indiana. And I couldn't make it.
That was a good game.
Because I had to work here, which is kind of funny because in that game, I would have been rooting for Penn State.
Yeah, it was still that point early enough in the year where
Early
you're like,
enough.
we're not getting the number one pick.
I would have probably been sitting there rooting for Penn State.
I think you have to in that situation.
Well, I like that is the college football team I root for, but it would be wild. UNLV is the third down Rebel champ. What about you? What's the best college football game you've ever been to?
LSU, Alabama, Brian Kelly's first year, I believe. We went 8-4, but Jaden Daniels and that LSU team beat Alabama in overtime. Overtime walk-off 2-point conversion.
Oh, yeah?
Stormed the field. It was a great time.
I remember that freaking game.
Mason Taylor caught it, knocked over the pylon. At first, I was like, fuck, he didn't get in.
Yeah.
He got in.
Was that, how many years was that after Burrow?
Burrow was 2019. That was my junior year, so 23?
Okay.
5 years, 4 years?
Yeah, because my roommate, I had a roommate for a brief time. He was an LSU fan. So I remember we watched the LSU Bama game at like Doty's when it was Burrow. And then I can remember the Jaden Daniels beating Alabama game. I don't remember where I was, though. I can remember that football game because I remember that's really when I started watching Jaden. I was really excited about Jaden. I think we are all caught. No, we still have a few more. Sorry.
We got off track.
Oh, yep, sorry. C. Gabe Go. What's up, C. Gabe Go? Super cool to see you. Just got home for I think we already got that one. Sancho, shout out to Hanson. Thank you. Yep, we got that one. I think we're a lot more caught up than we thought. Did we get to Sherlock? Bold statement. KC Cooks, Fernando Mendoza starts next year. I mean, I don't know if that's that necessarily of a bold statement, but I do think Kirk Cousins could have a successful season, and I do think that Fernando Mendoza is going to start next year. I think the only way that you can honestly have the conversation of Mendoza not starting next season is either A, you're watching him at practice and you're watching him and you're like, this guy doesn't deserve to go out there and play. B, I think Kirk legitimately, and maybe my expectation was too high. I think if Kirk Cousins wins the Super Bowl, you've got to bring him back. If Kirk Cousins takes you to an AFC championship and you win the AFC West, I think then you can have the conversation to bring him back. Because where I don't want to happen is I don't want us to end up like the Minnesota Vikings. And I don't think it's going to be Kirk Cousins, Sam Darnold, that whole ordeal. And I do believe in Fernando Mendoza, but like that's the expectation to me. I expect Fernando Mendoza to start unless we are like legitimately 12-plus win team, win the AFC West. Like then that's when you can have that conversation. But I would also probably look at it and go, I wonder if Fernando would have started the whole season. Are we a better football team with Mendoza? Could we have won? Could we have gotten over the hump? It's going to be fun to talk about. I hope we get to have that debate. How about that? I hope we get to have that debate, Sherlock. All right, man. We are all caught up. This is going to be your final opportunity to get in the duck race. If you don't know, I am at Mitchell Renz, 365 here on the program. The last time that I saw, we were at a $20 Venmo. You would go home with $250 here on the Raiders Report. Craig Nelson, I see that you, sir, are in. Craig Nelson, I got it in. $20 Venmo. You're going to go home with $260 on the program. I see Ryan James with a super chat. What up, Ryan? I know Carlson struggled last year, but why let go of a loyal, tenured Raider who has chemistry with A.J. Cole just to make what is, at best, a lateral move? I mean, here's the thing, Ryan. I think you're asking the question that every Raider fan out there is asking. Like, I actually think if you were to tell me, would you rather have Daniel Carlson or would you rather have Matt Gay? It's not even just because Carlson has been, a kicker on our team. I don't know if we have a play or two comp of Gay and Carlson. I think that I might have made one in the past. If I don't, it might be too old. I will say that if I do, it might be a little bit older. But, yeah, I mean, if we're just talking about number standpoint, right? Matt Gay has been statistically a worse kicker than Daniel Carlson. I think the number one argument, it's the only argument that I can give you, is that Matt Gay at his absolute best was when Joe DeCamillis was the Rams special teams coach in 2021 and in 2022. And I wonder if there's some sort of relationship there where he goes, you know what? I can get the best version out of Matt Gay. I mean, like, that's me trying to figure it out, because the other reason why I say that, it's the money. Like, Matt Gay, you can move on from him, but you end up eating more money than you save. I have followed the NFL for a long time, and personally, I don't think Matt Gay was good enough last season. I don't think he showed consistency enough at a kicker to get the type of contract that Matt Gay got when you're talking about some of the negative money. Is there a player card in there for Matt Gay about how much money we would lose technically if we cut him? I think we end up losing like $1.8 million. I know I've discussed him. Exactly. I know at one point we've talked about it. If not, it is what it is. But, like, I guess my statement here, Ryan, is the only thing I can come up with is his connection to Joe DeCamillis. And when I look at the contract that they gave Matt, it kind of looks like a contract that you give somebody that's your buddy, that's your friend, that you believe in. Because why is cutting a player like Matt Gay costing us money? Like, that's not how it should work in my book. He hasn't done enough things in this league recently to be able to have that type of justifiable contract. And again, it's not a lot of money. It's $1.8 million or something like that. But, like, that's my guess. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. That's my guess. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. Rebel, did we win? Mets, oh no, Dodgers, oh no, Reds. Oh, yeah. Are you?
Reds are on a 1-game winning streak.
All right, here, let's look it up.
Don't let us get hot.
Don't let us get scorched. Dude, there's some good preseason games tonight. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for some preseason football. Oh, Rebel, you just had to rub that one in a little bit. I get it. All right, y'all. Final refresh here. Last chance to get in the duck race. I'm looking, and I see a few more people getting it in. I see Steven Hansen.
Yeah, get it in there.
Mr. Hansen. And Hansen, for being such a legend today, I'm going to give you an extra duck. Jeremy Valve, you're in. And then Ramona Garcia here in the Raiders report. And this is a perfect amount. 20 to win. $300 here on the Raiders report.
It's great when it works out like that.
It's elite. It's good for me. It's good for you. It's good for everybody. Somebody's going to go home. $300 here on the Raiders report. I'm hyped. The Dodgers choked from Rebel.
Yeah, the Dodgers have been kind of cold. They have not been good recently.
Let me see here. My dad's actually planning on coming down here for when the Mets play.
The Rangers? I think that's next month because I heard Gage talking about it.
Yeah, it is next month. It's my dad. He's coming down here. It's like September 23rd. If anybody wants to go to a baseball game with me and my dad and my wife, I can't actually. Probably won't be able to sit with us, but we will be at the game. Rangers, Mets. No, it's going to be fun.
They'll be sitting in section 102, row 7, seats 12, 13, 14. Find them.
I was told that we have to either sit on the third base dugout or behind home plate. It was basically like if my dad's going to come, because I've never watched the Mets at the Rangers ballpark in the 10 years that I've lived here almost. So I was like, if I'm going to go watch the Mets in the ballpark, I'm like, we're going to get some good seats, and my dad's going to fly down. So I'm really looking forward to it.
There was a section that I sat in when the Reds were here at the beginning of the season. It was right behind third base, like the third base dugout. And they had like 20% off food with your ticket. Food, and it included beer and alcohol.
Shit.
Save some money that day. I'd recommend looking into that.
Especially if I have my dad going, because you guys want to know where I get it from.
It's genetics.
The apple don't fall far. All right, y'all, here we go. Somebody's about to go home with $300 here on the Raiders report. I just did my final refresh. My phone is loading, and I'm ready to rock and roll. 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
We're racing pandas.
We're racing pandas today. Are they? What are they doing? Oh, they're tumbling.
Rolling.
All right, I didn't know what they were doing. They're rolling. They're rolling. Honestly, this is what I looked up. This is how I looked when I woke up this morning. Alex is like, I don't know what you got going on underneath your eyes, but you need to get some of these patches.
Put these things under your eyes.
Patches Ohula eyes. That's what I probably look like. Fluhey! He's got a little bit of a lead right now up there at the top. Bayou Raider. Sherlock, next June is when we will go to Dallas in the off season. If I'm free in June, I got you. I'm just going to tell you right now, next June and next July, I will be taking a longer vacation. Longer vacations. Just for a week. Just for a week. Family vacation in July. June's my wife and I are gonna celebrate our 2-year anniversary. So we gotta make it, I guess. Here we go! Oh my God. Richard Black again! What a freaking back-to-back day for Richard Black. Are you kidding me right now?
This might be the biggest preseason storyline now. Richard Black.
Richard Black has now won $1,300 over the past. I mean, I'm worried if I send this money to Richard, people are going to be like, what's this guy doing with Richard? Richard! Yo, I mean, Rich, here's the thing, man. Whether you like it or not, you have to get in the next one.
Yeah, you're on a streak now.
I mean, now whether you like it or not, you have to get in the next one. Congrats. Richard Black, $300.
I know we did winners and losers earlier.
Giuseppe. Oh, Giuseppe, you're right there.
I know we did winners and losers earlier in the show. I think Richard Black is the biggest winner.
It. Oh,
Richard Black is now the biggest winner.
Yep.
We have to redo winners and losers.
You're
Richard
right.
Black is number one.
No, you're right. We're going to have to start the show over. All right, I'm going to end the stream. I'll be right back. Give me like 15 minutes coming up. Winners and losers presented by Richard Black. Seriously, Rich, shout out to you, man. That's awesome. Giuseppe, so close. So close. That was fun. Seppi, Sherlock. I mean, Richard had another one in there.
Dude, he had 3 in the top 10.
He just right now Richard wants it more than everybody else. That's all. Richard just wants it more than everybody else. I don't know why. The Raiders need Richard's luck. You're right. I need Richard's luck. No. Sherlock, I got you, bro. All right, fam, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to hop on out of here tonight. Really, really appreciate everyone who showed up and showed out today on our Friday. I know we typically do a Friday happy hour, but at the end of the day, I'm always going to present a deal, and I want you guys to know if that deal is hit, I will live up to it. If it doesn't, it's okay. It's okay. Big Raz, definitely rigged. Who was last place? You don't have to pull it up. Just tell me.
Last place was
Bayou.
29th and 30th.
Wow, Bayou. You were 29th and 30th, bro. So, Bayou, you get front and back shot. Congratulations.
Another big winner, Bayou.
Bayou's at home right now. He's like, nice. He's didn't Bayou say he's going to come back later after work?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome, Bayou. You're welcome. All right, fam. I'm going to hop on out of here. Greatly, greatly appreciate all y'all for pulling up. Special shout out to today's MVP, Steven Hansen, for not only blessing Sherlock with those awesome tickets, but also for banging 3 times here on the Raiders Report. I will say, we did say we were 3 bangs away from passing the Raiders in that competition. If the Raiders defense did start to play a little bit better. And maybe you guys are trying to save me from happy hour. And, sometimes I appreciate when you guys do. But also, the show hasn't ended yet, right? We can always take this to the very, very last moment. But real quick, before I seriously get out of here, if you want this show to go any longer, you got about 60 seconds. My plan for next week is I will be live on Tuesday, and I will be live again on Thursday, obviously for the Raiders' other preseason game against the Houston Texans. Obviously, this game means a lot to me. It means a lot to me because we're going to be going up against my guy, Jeremy Chuggs. Can you just switch it from, so make this, it would have been 1, and make this one 1. Also, shout out to Westchester, Pennsylvania, Mid-Atlantic champions. Going to the Little League World Series. That's unbelievable. Growing up in PA, Little League Baseball, I know it's different. Can't even imagine, man, being able to go to Little League World Series. Awesome, dude. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I mean, that's every day, man. That's practice every single day. Congratulations to Mid-Atlantic. So here's how our schedule's going to go. Game day, me against Chugs. It's a big one for me, and I hope that we kick the shit out of the Texans, too. Also, the following day, Raiders and Texans. Hang on, Garofalo, Jordan Tyson injury could linger into the regular season, Kellamore said. Tyson is seeking multiple opinions, so his timeline to return is TBD, but it doesn't seem it'll be anytime soon. I hate to say this because I'm never going to root for an injury, but the Raiders have a better shot winning week 3 if Jordan Tyson isn't in that game. Obvious reasons, especially what we just saw from our secondary. Yoda said early show, yeah, Yoda, after game days, we're going to try to go live a little bit earlier to just, chop it up, hang out with Raider Nation, but that's kind of be the game plan all season long. From me, from Lopez, the next time you guys will see me live on the Raiders Report is going to be August 18th. That's a Tuesday. If any other news, if any other new reports, if anything happens over the weekend, you already know I will do my best to keep you up to date. So I want each and every one of y'all. Bayou said, I'm back like a bad case of the clap. Yoda says, good night, nation. Good night to all of y'all. Have a good weekend. I'm going to go get some shut-eye myself, and I am definitely going to make a Prize Picks lineup around Geno Smith, and I, for a fact, will be watching that New York Jets game. It's going to be a lot of fun. Good night to all y'all out there. Hell of a Thursday. Hell of a Friday, and thank you so much for choosing the Raiders Report, and I hope that you choose the Raiders Report every single game day this entire season.